Party people, what did I miss? We are back, me and my guy Matty Betts, right before the end of the year. Matty, it's so fun that we are back together. A long journey and road and all sorts of things that I'm sure we're going to dive into there. But we have only 2 events left till UFC kind of goes into this new area where they'll be on Paramount Plus and do things a little bit differently. So it's kind of like this weird overlap, but we looked at this pay-per-view and we said, we got to have a fucking show. If we can have a show, we got to have a show. So Matty, we are ready. You've been hitting a lot of parlays since I left. I haven't particularly. So how you doing tonight, buddy? I guess I'll bring you in and see what's going on.
Doing good, bro. I actually really like this betting card a lot. I'm excited to break this shit down, dude. We got to make the most out of this week and next week because that break is absolutely brutal, bro. I don't know what I'm going to do.
I got it. I appreciate you guys so much in the comments. Light me up. I missed being here more than anything. It's like the most inclusive, biggest community I've ever been a part of, doing this, from a sports betting perspective. I still don't feel like I'm that sharp, but I loved what Matty and I had. And I proceeded to lose about 60 units between Matty and I's last show and right now. So I always said that this was the best lab session for me. You and me talking about the fights. We have 2 very different perspectives, and it made me a better bettor. Yeah. And then when it was gone, I went immediately into the tank. So Matty, I'm happy to see you. My wallet's happy to see you, maybe more than I am. So
yeah, go. Us together is dangerous, bro. It's dangerous.
It is. Have you noticed something though, that these props are getting a little bit shorter? We put the cycle out there, we built them out, and all of a sudden things are squeezed a little bit tighter. It's kind of interesting, but that would be legendary stuff. We go ahead and hit a cycle first week back. We will try to build the cycle at the end of today's show. The safe parlay returns at the end of today's show, so we'll see what we can throw together there for the show safe parlay. And we got 14 fights on UFC 323. I ain't no way. Yeah, yes way, and yes for the foreseeable future, guys. Matty's paying me this time, so this is an exciting development, and I'm so happy to be part of the Home of Fight team on an official basis this time. So enough about me. I'm not that interesting. Why don't we dive into the 14 fights up that we got for UFC 323? We'll start with this guy. I had 12 of them that I could model, and this was one of them between Muhammad Naimov and Myron Santos. Thank you. Yes, smash that like button. I think we topped out when I left around 10,000 viewers. Let's smash it. Let's do 20. We'll share this all over social media. This card deserves it. It is stacked top to bottom, especially when this is the first fight up. I mean, Myron Santos is a guy some people are putting out there as maybe a potential title challenger. Muhammad Naimov's had some big wins in UFC. This one taking place at 145. Matty, Santos is a minus 295 favorite here. What are your thoughts on this opener, which I think is maybe a tiny bit tricky?
Yeah, I'm pretty high on Myron Santos in general. I was at his fight against Sadykhov. I was disappointed he didn't do more of that fight and get a finish, but I like.
You were at the Apex that night?
Yeah.
Oh, was that the Gilbert Morales card?
I believe so. At least,
okay.
Unless I'm mistaken. Now you got me double guessing myself. But yeah, I like Myron Santos in general. I think it's a little expensive here, but I do think he gets it done. I think he's pretty close to better almost everywhere.
Yeah, it's a tough read for me when Santos, I love him as a prospect, and he's 25, and I totally get the projected improvement and the price here. I think even you'd agree, though, the price is probably a little bit steep, if we're looking at things completely objectively, because Naimov has been a guy that's been tough to put out of there. He's never been knocked out as a pro. Mm-hmm. The win that gets me is I thought Nathaniel Wood was going to completely control him. He was a pretty sizable favorite in that fight. Naimov ended up using a couple of fouls, overcame some of those cardio deficits to beat Wood. But I still am particularly worried about, is this guy really going to go out here and have the cardio to put 15 minutes of what you would assume would be a wrestling heavy game plan against Santos? And because I think you and I are on the same page, he's probably not going to win at distance, right?
Right, 100%.
Yeah, I mean Santos is pretty fast, but the thing that gives me a little bit of pause about that is Francis Marshall was, but I felt better about Francis's cardio, maybe not quite as good about his chin. So as I weigh these things together, I only have Santos 54.9% here. That means I can't bet him. As much as I do think he probably does end up getting the win, the takedown defense is a little bit spotty. This feels like a spot where I mentioned how much I've been losing. I've been on all of these value losers, like where the fight is maybe closer than it should be, closer than the odds say, and then it just ends up not coming through. Like you don't even cover a point spread, you don't cover a decision prop, and it's kind of that iffy fighters decision prop, and that's kind of what it feels like for Santos around here. So yeah, I totally agree with that. I think Santos is the side UFC's invested in here as well. So I think I'm gonna have Naimov tiny, but a small enough amount that I know it's probably a value loser.
For sure. And guys, just so you know, we're gonna starting next week, we're gonna start putting the KO, submission, and decision odds on each graphic. I think that's what you guys like so much about our show is there's a million freaking shows that goes through and breaks down each fight. But Austin and I, our niche is the prop market. We want to get specific. We want to find value in the submission, decision, KO markets. So starting next week, we'll have those numbers on the graphics here. Santos, if you're going to play him here, he's even money on a decision. Plus 350 on the knockout, and then 14-1 by submission. Does anything stick out to you there?
So weirdly enough, bro, this is a part that I write about. And by the way, just so you know, if you like what you hear, I have a massive, gigantic, think like Action Network with Evan Abrams. I am dumping my entire notebook out on homeoffight.com on Fridays. So I will have an entire betting primer. My model likes Santos by sub, like as a sprinkle here. And I think the reason why, isn't that weird? He's a striker. He's never attempted a submission in UFC, but when you look at Naimov and where he's gotten in trouble,
you saw that Arman Sarukian in submission I sniped. Every person talked about how he doesn't ever have submission attempts. I was like, it was just a logic play, bro. 2 straight grappling matches before that fight, submission wins, Hooker gets subbed. I was so happy I hit that, bro. I was nervous as shit he was gonna ground and pound him out, but that was a nice hit.
Yeah, I think similar vein here where like when Hooker had gotten in trouble in UFC, it was with submission stuff, and you think Naimov's got some cardio issues. He's probably going to have a wrestling heavy game plan. I'd be very careful of the front choke here. I know Santos hasn't shown a lot in that department, but like I think he's an uber talented prospect, a really good athlete. And how many of these guys can't lock in like a front choke or a guillotine? So like, I don't think it's crazy. I don't think my models read is crazy there. I would not feel comfortably being like I'm all about the sub here, but especially with those props you sent me. And where'd those props come from?
That's Hard Rock.
Okay, I got you. And
I think we won't spend too much time on this fight, but I think Santos probably wins this fight by decision. 29-28, 30-27 maybe. It's even money if you guys want to take a stab at it. Lower that juice, but not a ton to do with this fight in my view.
I'm glad you're gonna put the odds up here. I'm gonna have to find a way to see Hard Rock here in Texas because I know it's your option there in Florida. By the way,
you can see the app. You just can't bet. You can just go on the app store.
Got it.
I have all the apps on my phone that I can't bet on, like FanDuel, DraftKings. I look at all of them. I also have an OddsJam premium subscription, so I can see every fucking book. So
interesting.
But yeah, let's move on from this fight so we don't spend too much time.
We don't need to spend too much time there because we've got plenty of the others coming down the pipe. I don't think this is particularly a captivating fight, but we'll talk about it for a little bit here. Mansour Abdul-Malik taking on Antonio Trocoli feels like a little bit of a setup spot. And this is the thing that I've actually had some success with in 2025. I feel like the pay-per-view setup spots have been very, very real. Like when you think of Ateba Gautier, Islam Dulatov, like there have been a lot of guys from the Contender Series. They're like, look how fucking beastly this guy is. Yeah. I think they're doing that a little bit with Mansour Abdul-Malik here against Trocoli. Trocoli's 0-2 in UFC, probably better known for being Mr. Mackenzie Dern, if I'm being quite honest. But Matty, do you give Trocoli any shot here? I'm sure I haven't even looked, but I'm sure Abdul-Malik round 1 KO's juiced to the gills. So might be one of those spots where there's not a lot we can do with it. But what are you thinking? I
mean, it's funny, right? Because this guy he got to round 3 against Shar Magomedov.
Yeah.
But Magomedov is more of a sit back and strike guy, whereas this guy's just going to walk you down. So I think it's a totally different style. But the Tresean Gord loss is a bad look in my view. Like, round 1 submission loss.
Yeah.
It's not a good look for sure. Let's see what that round there's not even on the board. I mean, it is Wednesday, but This is one of two fights that's not on the board at Hard Rock for the prop market.
Yeah, I the odds I have here, Abdul-Malik up to 1150. I mean, it has grown a little bit steadily.
No, I mean on the round one number.
Oh, and and then I was going to say under 1.5 is minus 195. So when you think about tying those together, it's probably going to be around like even money. And I was going to point out to you that I think there might actually be some value in Abdul-Malik one here, just because he went to the second round with Nick Klein, he went to the third with Brundage, he went to the third with I'm forgetting the other, but he's had some longer fights. So now all of a sudden you hand him a guy that has a comically low 23% striking defense. And, it's a really bad look when he's supposed to be this submission threat type of guy, and then he gets front choked by Tresean Gore, who's just kind of a good athlete, but hasn't proven a lot in UFC. Like, I don't know how Trocoli wins fights based on what I've seen so far. So I kind of think round one KO might actually be a little bit undervalued in this spot.
Yeah, this is probably the one fight on the card I genuinely won't bet, and I pretty much bet every fucking fight. Let's be honest.
I was going to say, is that a good sign to move on then?
Yeah, let's move on.
Again, we always shoot for an hour. Sometimes we went like 2.5 just because we
this is a good pay-per-view. I don't care if we spend 90 minutes on this.
Yeah, this is a whopper. We have a lot of data to intake here. Another interesting early prelim. It's actually the only other fight on the card that I couldn't model, with Iwo Barriewski coming off the Contender Series. He was a big underdog on the Contender Series against Muhammad Ali. Well, pronounced the same from Brazil. Didn't exactly box like him. He got knocked out in 20 seconds. So Barriewski makes his UFC debut here against Ibo Aslan, who on my birthday put together one of the worst. It was the very first fight I flipped on and I saw Ibo Aslan taking on Billy Elikana, and it was an awful fight. It was a staring contest. Yeah. So he's looking to rebound from that. Barriewski minus 215 is the shiny new toy here. So what do you think about this fight from a betting perspective?
Yeah, this is the second fight I was referring to that doesn't have prop market out on Hard Rock.
Okay.
This is another fight I really just don't like here. I think Ibo Aslan might get knocked out, but it's a tough spot for me to really like anything here. I would need to see the numbers on it. Do you know what that KO prop pays?
Let's see if we got one live here on anything I can find. But okay, so Barriewski KO at DraftKings is plus 100. Aslan KO plus 225, and then Barriewski submission is plus 550 as the next shortest. So that's a little weird.
Yeah.
But like when I look at this fight, I think you're obviously going to get a buy low spot with Aslan because he had the bad loss to Elikana, and then he was submitted by Iwan Cutelaba. But the one thing I do trust about him, I think a little bit, is his chin. He's been through some of these firefights. Now, his level of competition has not aged well. He had Cerqueira, right, who went out in.
That's what scares me, bro. That's really what scares me.
I mean, everybody knocks Cerqueira out in the first round. And then the third round with the pleasure man, Anton Turkai.
Yeah.
Gone too soon. But
they haven't aged well whatsoever.
No.
He had a KO against Robert Valentine back in 2018.
Yeah.
It's a round 3 KO, though. Maybe like a 2-3 KO on Aslan's side could be crazy value depending on the numbers here.
Yeah, well, I'll say this. I like Aslan. He trains at Extreme Couture with Eric Nixick, plus 1.62 striking success rate's really good. And was stunned by this because I kind of think of him as a brawler. 59% striking defense. That's 85th percentile or better for the division. So he kind of has some fundamentals that are actually really solid, even though sometimes he fights like a go-forward brawler. And I think he does trust his chin. And this is a wild market fluctuation from Barriewski, way underdog in the Contender Series, gets a 20-second knockout that could very well be flukish in hindsight. And then Aslan on the other side is a buy low spot. I would grade this closer to a pick'em. So I am going to bet Ibo here. I don't exactly know how, but I think Moneyline is probably the best bet because we've seen Ibo win early. We've seen him win late. It's just a fight without a lot of data. So you give me plus 164 and that's my only action on the fight. I feel pretty confident about that.
That's fair. You get one a decision too.
Yep. So he's been all over the map as far as like getting it done.
He is 14-0 to the KO, which is pretty crazy.
Yeah. The way he fights, he really trusts his chin.
Yeah.
And Barriewski, I think the question is, does Barriewski have a level of grappling that we didn't get to see on the Contender Series? Because when he was on bottom position against Cutelaba, it was ugly. So if he's on bottom here, he might get submitted again. But the odds are so out of whack here where how is this not close? How is anybody so confident in what they saw from Barriewski that he's going to be the first person to knock out Aslan? I just don't feel that way.
Yeah. So. No, I'm with you.
Remember what I said about spending too much time on the only fights that you and I don't really care about? But I like Ebo Moneyline. I think he's a little bit undervalued there.
Let's go.
What do we got? We got hit 4, cash 1, pulled out early, $3,300 from $520 parlays.
Bro, do you know how much shit? Do you remember my cycle parlay with Whaley Zahn as the last leg?
I do.
You know how much shit I've gotten for that?
Really?
Well, I had 3K to win 300K, which is by far the craziest parlay I've ever had in my life, except the one NFL parlay where Tucker Kraft got tackled on the 1-inch line twice. That cost, and that would have paid 300K as well, and it happened twice in the same game. But this would have been my craziest UFC parlay, and I needed Whaley Zahn to win by decision. And Hard Rock offered me $78,000 on the cash out on a 3K bet, and I turned it down. Yeah. And then after round 2, it was like dusted. Like she was down 2-0. And then 3-0, and then I was like, all right, I need like 2 10-7 rounds, and I'm live. I was like, it's fucking over, bro. But it's just like I get a lot of shit for not taking that cash out, but I stand on the same principle, bro. I don't want to take these cash outs.
Am I mistaken here? Because for those of you who don't know, Matty and I have talked weekly since I stopped doing the show. There hasn't been a week that has gone by that we haven't conversed about what we were thinking, and he didn't always agree with me, but like we were in the lab together. Didn't you hit the cycle with Islam by decision that very next fight? And so if you had taken both cash outs, you were actually in a worse position than.
No, it's funny because if I would have took both cash outs, I would have got 105K or 110K.
Okay.
Neither, and I won 100. And I'd rather win 100K.
Yeah.
And not take the cash out than win 105K and take the cash outs, because then I at least it's more of a pride thing for me, to be honest. I'd rather win 5K less, truthfully.
Yeah.
But of course, hindsight's 2020. Everyone's like, "Oh, you should have cashed out the Wei Lee one and rode the Islam one." I was like, "Okay, motherfucker." Like after the fact, it's easy to say that. But I mean, the 117K parlay I hit. What was the last leg? It was a decision, main event decision. I'm blanking. But long story short, that cash out offer was in the 30s, and I turned it down. 30s or 40s. So it is what it is. I just don't like taking cash outs. The math is so bad on it, bro.
Yeah. You ready for Unchained, Unfiltered Austin? Because this is the first time we've spoken where I don't work for a sports book.
Yeah. I can't wait.
The cash out offers, and this is just me speaking as a bettor personally. I don't know anything about what goes on. But from my own experience as a sports bettor, the cash out offers are not mathematically in your favor. You are hindering your mathematical probability of winning by taking.
They take a 10 or 20% rip.
Yeah, and the problem with your parlays is they're very hard to hedge. It's not as simple as like, okay, I take the cash out and then I bet Valentina.
Cash out. Realistically, the cash outs are actually better for my parlays.
Yeah,
because the hedging is nearly impossible unless you have a book that takes like, you can bet one prop not to happen, right? Like you can bet the fight to not end by Islam by decision, and you get the whole other market, every other outcome, but it's impossible to do that for that type of money.
Yeah, I mean, sorry, I had to message Jake, our producer, real quick. Just want to be careful, but
There's the message I get. Oh, you could have won 178K.
And by the way, we were both all in on Whaley. She was just too small. Like there wasn't even a skill discrepancy there.
I hate the fact that everyone made it about to be the wrestling was better. I was like, if you actually watch that fight, it was literally just the range and the size. Like she just could not close distance whatsoever. Like that was the risk we took, bro. It is what it is.
Yeah. I mean, it's who you are, and you're just playing the numbers. And by the way, when you put these cycles in, you're 100% convinced they're going to hit. It's not like, hey, I'm hoping to get in position to cash out. That's not the way that
decision, baby. I got an interesting decision leg for you guys coming up here.
Yeah, I'm interested to hear what you have.
You're not going to like it. I already know you're not going to like it, but
because you and I really haven't talked at all. Like I don't know where.
I do know you're on the opposite side on this one from what I saw on Telegram.
Oh, okay.
Guys, my Telegram, you can go. It's Matty Bets Sports Betting. You can probably search it on Telegram or just go to my Twitter, Instagram bio. There's almost 40,000 people in there. Everything is completely free, so go join the Telegram. All right, let's talk on this fight, bro, because you said something interesting earlier. You said that there's been a lot of like setup spots here. I talked to Matana today on the podcast, which airs tomorrow on Show Me the Money on YouTube. I said, is this a spot the UFC is giving Jalen Turner here after the early retirement, coming back? They give him a 39-year-old striker here. What are your thoughts?
I mean, setup spot is interesting. I think it's more like a soft landing spot than it is like a total setup spot. Like it's a favorable matchup for Jalen at this point. Like we can't be all in. We can't possibly be all in because of the retirement concerns and the motivation questions. And you never know like why a guy's coming back. It could be for money, right? So cash out off of Media Picks or where you wanted to. Yeah, that's a good comment. But I don't think I think it's a soft landing spot, and a lot of our audience kind of is on the same way here, where I like Jalen like by violence in this spot. What do you think?
I like Jalen inside the distance here. I think round 1 KO's live for sure. I think he finishes him. I'm not ruling out a submission either, but I think he should be able to tag him on the feet. I mean, Barboza, the one thing I'll say about Barboza is I remember how painful it was when I had who was Barboza's 5-rounder against? Was it Leroy Murphy?
Yes, and Murphy dominated.
Very painful to watch because I had Murphy by KO or inside the distance. I can't remember. And that was a 5-round beatdown. I think he landed 220 significant strikes. And I couldn't believe that fight went the full 5. But Murphy's more of a points guy than Jalen Turner, who's more of a finisher.
Yep.
So I got to think Jalen Turner's going to put it on him early here. But you really don't know what you're going to get with Turner in general, so you kind of got to tread carefully here. Let's look at the props. Jalen Turner by knockout is plus 115. I mean, it's a small number. I mean, it's not that small. He's a 3-1 favorite. The submission's 4-1, and the decision is plus 650. I got to be honest, that decision price kind of sticks out a little bit when you see Barboza just kind of be the nail in fights but survive a little bit. So plus 650 is kind of crazy there. That makes me want to take a stab at it, but I do think Jalen Turner will get him out of there early.
Yeah, that would be this is not what I was expecting to see in terms of the market. Sub is short, man. I got plus 350 sitting here on DraftKings. And I'm glad you asked. I was about to say that. So I've got Jalen Turner minus 211 here, which means Barboza is plus 211. Turner inside the distance plus 107. That's not going to be bettable, I'm sure. ITD here for Jalen is probably minus 150, minus 160 if I had to guess. Do you have an inside the distance prop from Hard Rock? And then I got KO plus 231 and sub plus 456. I'm not overly surprised, but the thing about Edson, man, he has taken some beatings, even into his late 30s, where he took the Murphy beating for 5 rounds. He was not on the winning end of that Drakkar close fight, and it went all 15 minutes. Like the official model recommendation.
I had that Drakkar close by decision in the parlay, and I was sweating that because I thought he was going to finish him.
Yeah.
I just don't know. Now, one thing I will say, Moicano said that Barboza might even wrestle here offensively. What do you think about that?
Barboza might wrestle offensively?
That's what Moicano said. I mean, he says some crazy shit sometimes, but
maybe. But, I mean, Turner's the longer guy here. He is probably a little bit
I think that front choke is definitely live.
I agree with you.
He has a better chance of getting a sub in that scenario than just them brawling and clubbing sub or whatever or grappling. Yeah. I think Jalen Turner is going to find like a big right hand down the middle or something. It's just a matter of does Barboza fucking rally. He's going to get tagged. He's going to get hurt. I think it's a matter of does he recover or not.
Now that's much better. And I will be honest and transparent. I've always been honest and transparent. I still think FanDuel is the best place for UFC props because you look at the numbers and you just scour the market. Like I got plus 350 at DraftKings. I got plus 430 on the sub at FanDuel, which is a much better number. Oh, I say going and throwing my phone across the living room, but like I'm much more tolerable. I got it about plus 455, so like plus 430 is closer. And to me, I think the decision, or I mean the submission prop, I would go earlier, and I'd try to really, if I was going to go Turner inside the distance, I'd really try to narrow it to 1-2. Where if it got to the third round, something might have gone wrong to a point where you don't even want to Turner's side anyway, right? Like, because Jalen's thing is he's never won inside the distance in UFC outside of 10 minutes. So, like, you can kind of get a little bit better of a number if you think the Turner bonk or the submission is coming. Just narrow it down to the first 2 rounds, in my opinion.
Yeah. No, that's fair.
So, and round one sub is plus 850. Round 2 is 15-1. Does my memory serve me right that he submitted Riddell in the second round?
Yeah, it was a guillotine.
Yeah.
Was it second or first?
I'm looking.
I think it was first, but you might be right.
It was. I was thinking he got Malarkey out of there in the second round as well as Brock Weaver. So he's gone to the second a few times. But Jalen Turner, I thought he was a French title contender, man. And I'm so glad he's back because you look at his resume, who he's lost to: Bahamondes, Hanato, Manny Moicano, Dan Hooker, Mateusz Gamrot. Like, this isn't a guy that doesn't have nothing left to give the lightweight division.
Bro, his 2 losses, he's 1-4 in his last 5, and 2 of them are split decision losses that he probably could have won.
Right. So, like, I think this is a guy that can definitely improve and get better and work on some of his flaws, which really, once he was in bottom position against Moicano, was over. And this a little bit similarly with Bahamondes was able to submit him. So, the thing is that I don't think Barboza will be very successful wrestling if he tries. Average is just 0.43 takedowns per 15. That's not a very high number.
Yeah.
So,
what's Barboza's sub? Just out of curiosity.
Sure. I've got it 30-1. Let's see what it is. It's 33-1. Value. No thanks.
We gotta move on after that.
Yeah. All righty. Let's move forward here. A middleweight banger between Marvin Vettori and Bruno Ferreira. Super interesting fight. I've heard a lot of discourse about this one in the sports betting community, where some guys really like Bruno, some guys really like Vettori. Will he crack his chin? And really, in many ways, these guys are kind of polar opposites. You know, Vettori's a decision machine. Ferreira's never been to the cards. I love this matchup. Like, I love thinking about it. I'm curious. This is the first time I will know what your thoughts are. So what are they?
I'm curious if you can guess what I like here.
I have genuinely no idea.
Let's see if the chat can guess.
Everybody guess what Matty's favorite angle in Vettori Ferreira is. Bruno sub.
If you guys know me, you know.
Bruno points plus 450 was one of our. We had a vote. Marvin Vettori KO, Vettori decision. Man, we're all over the map, guys.
Vettori points.
Vettori sub. Bruno sub. The fact you said if you know me, it does kind of lead me to a submission.
It leads to a submission. Right.
Who is it?
We're going Bruno Ferreira by decision.
Oh, okay.
Plus 450. I fucking am in love with it, bro. I'm in love with it. I love it so much. I've printed money taking opposing guys by decision against Vettori. Look, I think Bruno can win this fight almost anywhere. I think he can out-grapple him slightly. I think it's close. I think he can land the bigger shots on the feet. And I think Vettori just does what Vettori does, which has a brick head and a good chin.
Yeah.
And I think the reason we're getting plus 450 here is because, like you said, Bruno's never been to a decision. But when you fight a guy who's never been finished, how the fuck can you see value on that? It's insane to me. I'm getting the guy who has bigger power in his shots, who's the younger guy in MMA years, in my view. And I think can land the bigger shots on the feet here, and I think can hold his own in the grappling too. I think he could even control him on the ground a little bit if they get in some grappling heavy exchanges. I don't think he can submit Vettori. I don't think he'll knock him out, and I'm getting plus 450 on a decision. I think it's an insane number, bro. I really do. For a minus 110 in a pick'em fight, I get a guy who's at plus 425, plus 450 to win on the scorecards against a guy who's never been finished. I mean, what am I missing?
Yeah. I mean, I like the angle because it's one of two that I kind of had prepared. Is that I think the way to bet this fight, there are two contrarian ways to do it, and this is what I designed my model to do. Is what do you do with a guy who hasn't ever been finished as a pro against a guy who never sees the cards? Well, the betting value is here. I actually have Ferreira more likely to win a decision than Vettori. I got Ferreira decision plus 299. And then Vettori decision plus 477. Then I got Vettori inside the distance. I've got it plus 211 and Ferreira inside the distance plus 293. So I think if you like Marvin, you bet him inside the distance because he does have a superior level of competition. Bruno was knocked out by Nursultan Rozaboyev. He was submitted in the third round by Abus Magomedov, which is like Abus is the gas bag of the division.
But is he really though?
Yes.
Everyone said that because it's a Sean Strickland fight, bro.
I watched the Joe Pyfer fight. Yes, Abus's cardio was horrible. And the fact that Ferreira lost in round 3 to him is kind of crazy. Whereas, my favorite angle in this fight
is better than Marvin Vettori.
Is Vettori inside the distance. But I understand Ferreira decision, and I agree with your premise here. I think he's more likely to win a decision than Vettori is.
Yeah.
So, and the best part, I could bet both. Vettori decision plus 420, Ferreira decision plus 600.
Yeah, for sure. No, I get it.
Oh, I'm sorry, plus 450. I was looking at the wrong number. But
do you agree that round 1 is Bruno's round?
No.
Really?
Well, so what I'm concerned about is that Ferreira has a 57% takedown defense. Abus was able to take him down, and Vettori to me has always been a really good and underrated wrestler. I thought his game plan against Brendan Allen was a little weird because Allen's a guy that's willing to spend time on his back, and he never even tried to really take him down. So I just told you what my model's saying. You got to listen, bro. Or you can check out homofied.com on Friday. You'll have all of my model numbers and picks right there. So that's why we're doing it, is so that you can check it out. You gotta listen up. Marvin plus 500 by finish on DraftKings. That's crazy. I got plus 420 on FanDuel. That's a good line to shop around.
That's crazy, bro. All right. Well, this fight is definitely a fight that could go either way. I think both guys have a good
bet it, Matty, I like your bet. To me, the biggest rule of thumb that I'm giving people here, bet it contrarian. If you like Vettori inside the distance, if you like Ferreira, bet him decision. I think the books have it wrong.
Yeah. No, I agree. I mean, look, at the end of the day, I think the value is clear. Someone said it's 6-1 on Ferreira decision on another book. That's a crazy number.
We got to shop, man. I mean, these are kind of all over the place, but I think it's because odds makers don't really know what to do with this fight because of the dynamic of this guy hasn't been finished. This guy has. They go to the decision. Yeah. Interesting. I saw the over was juiced to like minus 140. Over 2.5 rounds was like minus 140. I feel like most people would believe that favors Marvin. I disagree. If you told me the over hit, I would say Bruno Ferreira won this fight.
Yeah, that's fair.
All righty, let's move forward. Let's think contrarian, people. Oh, here's a good fight that if I was still doing it, I think this would be my Austin's fight of the night here between Fares Ziam, Nazim Sadykhov. This is like a diehard sort of main event type of thing. Like we know these guys as high level prospects. I cannot wait for this fight. Sadykhov unbeaten in 5 UFC starts. Fares Ziam, I think he's won 5 in a row now. He's on a pretty big streak as well. So. Matty, with Ziam at minus 146, what are you thinking in this one?
I think Ziam's super skilled, bro. I think he's a very good fighter. He's long. He's technical. He's shown he's well-rounded. He can defend the takedowns. I think Sadykhov has a little bit of an advantage, like, having Frivola in his camp. But I mean, I just don't think – I think there's a little bit too much hype on Sadykhov here because he's kind of exciting. He's got good pressure. He's an excited fighter, but I think he's a little outclassed here, bro. I really do. I like Ziam as a favorite here pretty strongly.
Interesting. I'm split in that, like, I don't have a strong read on this fight. I haven't bet it yet. I am not like totally convinced one way or another. In fact, I've got Ziam minus 107, Sadykhov plus 107. So currently I've got a no bet on the money line, but it is an interesting fight where I feel like Ziam's range could give Sadykhov a lot of problems here, both entering for his takedowns. I could very easily see this as a fight where Ziam is on the outside and Sadykhov just gets jabbed in the face and just can never find a way in. Or I think Sadykhov is a guy that is significantly more aggressive when it comes to forcing the attack. And does Ziam panic, or does he have bad moments off of his back? He passed a similar sort of test against Frevola, but honestly, Frevola in his last few fights is just kind of, he has thrown caution to the wind and kind of fought like an idiot, winging right hands. And I feel Sadykhov is a little bit more technical than that. But I'd be lying when I say I like Sadykhov here to not be concerned that he was dropped by Nicholas Moda in that first round. Like, in his home country, Moda's a guy you and I have liked probably more than the general consensus public, but I still think getting dropped by him and then now facing Ziam, who pulled the upset over Mike Davis, and
what's your sentiment on Mike Davis? Because I think he's very good.
I think Davis is really good. The Ziam performance may have been a bad weight cut or something, because it just felt like he wasn't there to me. Like, it wasn't the normal Beast Boy experience.
I mean, I was impressed by Ziam defending their submissions, bro. Like, they were it was pretty crazy.
Yeah, and I feel like his grappling has gotten so much better, because if you forget, this guy entered UFC at like 22. And Terrence McKinney took him down and submitted him rear naked choke very early in his career. And I thought to myself, oh, here's another French guy that can't grapple. But that's not what Ziam is. And we saw it, like, Claudio Puelles is one of the most annoying fighters in the lightweight division right now, because the dude is just when we talk about, if you want to criticize Islam for like lay and pray and that sort of strategy, that is Puelles. He has no interest in striking whatsoever. And Ziam made that look easy. He even reversed top position. So I think Ziam can grapple. I don't think that Sadykhov has a clear wrestling path here. To me, if Sadykhov wins, it's his aggressiveness that ends up getting the better of Ziam, maybe more than like his grappling. So I don't really know what to do with this fight, man. I don't hate your Ziam read, because I just am a little conflicted.
Yeah. People say Ziam's grandma just passed away.
Are we gonna have a grandma pass away system play if Ziam comes out and starches him in the first round?
I don't know, bro. I mean, neither guy's been knocked out in their career, right? 5-0 to the KO, 8 to the KO.
I'm pretty sure Sadykhov's undefeated.
But Sadykhov did get hurt against Nicholas Moda recently.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good fight. I just think Ziam is going to have, he just got a major reach advantage. I think he's more technical.
Yes.
I think he can win this fight. Maybe probably on the cards, obviously, but he could also catch him too. I like him by decision here. Let's see what the prop market looks like in this one.
So let me roll through, Matty. So here in order are my props on this fight. I've got Ziam decision plus 199, Sadykhov sub plus 441. Sadykhov KO plus 582, and then Sadykhov decision plus 562. So those two KO decision are about the same. So odds maker,
what do you have Sadykhov sub at?
Plus 441.
12-1 on his sub. That's the only value that you said. It's the only value. The decision KO is no value.
And that's a crazy number, because FanDuel
12-1
right now
is a good number.
950.
12-1 is a good number. I mean, it was only 3 years ago Ziam got subbed by Terrence McKinney. Obviously, he's well improved, but 12-1 is pretty crazy. I would have thought it was like 7-1, 8-1.
I don't. Did Sadykhov sub McKinney, or was it the other way around? I remember there was like a controversial sub in that fight. It was Sadykhov subbed McKinney. There was like a fence grab. Is anyone else remembering?
He subbed Ziam though, right?
He did, and that's what I'm saying. Sadykhov subbed McKinney.
Yeah.
I might have my angle just a small dart at Sadykhov, but a majority of the time I think my model's right, is that Ziam decision is the most likely outcome. And like that would be unfortunate, just because if Sadykhov never finds his way into range, this might not be the most fun fight to watch. Like, he's just chasing him for 15 minutes and can't get inside.
Yeah. For sure. This is gonna be good. There's so many good matchups this card, bro.
Oh yeah. I can't wait to watch that fight, even if it may not be the best betting spot. But my show with Hey Jive is Friday nights as usual, Wednesday. We'll see what I'm doing Friday night. I might come by and give you my models long shot cycle. Maybe that's something to keep the folks.
Guys, moving forward, every week when there's a UFC card, Austin and I will be on Wednesday nights breaking down the whole card. Friday nights is the interactive stream where we bring everyone on and they give out parlays. So nothing's changing on the Friday night ones, but we will be doing this every Wednesday night with Austin.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I can't do call-ins, man. You guys will drive me nuts with your horrible parlays that you take. I couldn't do call-ins. I'm sorry. I love you guys. I love
hearing the people's parlays. It's fucking hilarious.
My favorite is when they talk shit to you in Hey Jive, and
I love that.
And then they end up getting roasted like in the first fight of the night.
I needed it though. Like the 1 week, some kid came on and fucking roasted me. He's like, "What's going on? You're ice cold." And then I smacked like hundreds of thousands 2 weeks in a row. And I was like, maybe I needed someone to come on and trash me, bro.
Yeah, actually trash me in the comments right now because I've got 60 units to turn around since the last time we did a show. So trash me, we'll keep it motivated. But next fight up on the card, women's flyweight ranked battle, kind of positioning in the top 10, even though both of these ladies didn't leave the best impression in their last fight. Macy Barber taking on Karine Silva. Obviously, if you remember what happened to Macy, she scrapped a main event earlier this year with some health issues right before. I mean, literally, they played the intro video, and then all of a sudden we found out Macy wasn't fighting. And then Karine Silva now, she should be on a 2-fight skid. Like, I bet Karine Silva against Diani Barboza. It was the worst bet that I've made that is cashed this year because I don't think she won that fight. And it was a bit of a robbery, but Silva did win there. She lost to Viviara Ujo, but she certainly has lost the momentum that she had. So, Matty, Barber minus 186 kind of makes sense because Silva's been on a slide, but do you see that particular number as value, or is there anything interesting here?
I think I think it's a buy low spot on Karine Silva. I think the wrong chick's favored here, bro.
Whoa.
I like Karine Silva here to win this fight. I really do.
Wow.
She's on a little bit of a skid here, but she's super talented. I think she can turn things around. Macy Barber's a beast, but I think Karine Silva's going to get this one done.
Wow. That is the most stunning thing that you have told me tonight is I've already played Barber and I thought she's one of my favorite win picks on the card, but I've also been ice cold. So like what about Silva do you like? Do you like her standing up? Do you think she's got a wrestling advantage? Like what about her?
I called her, what did I call her the 1 week? I called her the female Shavkat. Okay, hear me out.
Oh, okay.
Hear me out. Hear me out. Now, this is before her skid, okay?
Yeah.
So you got to give me some credit here. But when you look at Shavkat, he has – all right, so Karine Silva has 8 wins by knockout, 9 by submission. She's a finisher, especially for women's MMA, right?
Yep.
You look at Shavkat. What does Shavkat have? 8 wins by KO, 10 by submission. Okay, so both fighters are finishers. They're both very aggressive fighters. And then they're, it's like 50-50 to the KO or sub roughly. So that was my metaphor there. But again, it's aged very poorly because since I said that, she went on a little bit of a skid here. But I still believe in her. I still think, and I actually like Diani Barboza. I don't think she won that fight, but I do think Barboza is very good.
Now that I buy, the problem for me is that I think maybe my high prior on Macy is that she's 10-1 in fights where she didn't tear her ACL. She tore her ACL that one fight. She's 10-1 in all others. It was a split decision that could have gone her way. And the thing that I contrast in this fight is that Silva has had cardio issues pretty badly outside maybe the first 7-8 minutes or so. And Macy Barber is notorious for this pace where she will pour it on you for a hard 15 and she doesn't let up. And that's kind of, she just kept coming against Amanda Hebos and was able to actually get Hebos out of there. And, that was a stunner to me because I thought Amanda was on a title track at that point. But I will say Macy's level of competition isn't as good as it seemed at the time. Like she's been fighting in the top 10 for a while, but some of the girls, she just happened to see a lot of the girls that went backwards. Like I thought her size was going to give Erin Blanchfield issues. We'll obviously never know, but I can't exactly say Barber's the most reliable commodity in the world now after she left right before the fight because of health issues. So from that perspective, I kind of get a speculative dart on Silva. I've got Barber minus 170 here. So Silva's not in bettable range. I actually got minus 165 on Barber in the parlay that I gave out in Discord, which by the way, if you're part of the Home of Fight Discord, my free picks are back. Give them to you right as I bet them, as well as I'll have my full cards out on Friday. So I already gave that out. I parlayed her with Abdul-Malik, and I like Macy as a win pick here, man.
Yeah, and guys, if you're commenting Silva's not on a skid, she's 1-1 in her last 2, and she should be 0-2, is what we're saying here. She won a unanimous decision. I mean, you had Barboza winning that fight?
Yeah. And I bet on Silva.
It's a close fight, but you could argue that she could be 0-2 in her last 2. That's what we're saying here.
Yeah. I thought Barboza won 1-3 in that fight. I got lucky.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. All right, let's move on to this one. We're on complete opposite sides there, but I mean,
that's great.
Macy Barber's very good, bro. So
hey, man, it's women's MMA. At the end of the day, we may not get the best gameplay. We might not. Who knows? Who knows what we're going to get from that fight? But who knows what we're going to get from this one as well? Terrence McKinney taking on Chris Duncan in when you and I were grinding shows weekly, these were guys that it feels like we talked about them all the time. They're both super active. They're finishers. All of their fights are exciting. UFC gave us a treat to put these guys together on a pay-per-view, and it's well-deserved. Line is moving the way of Terrence McKinney, though. He was as high as plus 165 last week. He's down to plus 138. I would say this is a fight where there's a lot of split consensus, and there are good arguments. And, a lot of times we as bettors will get the tenor of fights wrong. We'll think that this guy has the grappling advantage, this guy has the striking advantage, and it's the complete opposite. I think everybody kind of knows how this fight's going to go, right? McKinney's a hot starter. Duncan's a grinder that survived and find a way to win fights later. What do you think about that angle and that general public sentiment, and how do you want to bet this fight as a result?
Yeah. I mean, this is probably the most entertaining fight of the night.
Yeah.
I think, everyone says, hey, it's Terrence McKinney earlier, Chris Duncan round 2. But Chris Duncan can win a round 1 as well. We saw what happened in the Drew fight. McKinney almost finished Drew and then gets finished himself in round 1. I'll tell you one thing. There's only one thing I like in this fight. I was hoping to get a little bit better of a price, and this might make my cycle parlay. But the fight to end by submission is plus 145.
Oh, okay.
I think club and sub both ways are live. I think guillotines both ways are live. I think rear naked chokes both ways are live. I think that there are so many ways this fight ends by submission that I fucking love it. I was hoping to get in the 200s, though. So I need to decide is that enough value. Duncan's actually more favored to win by sub than McKinney, I believe.
Whoa.
Actually, let me check that. But one of them's plus 425 and one's plus 325 on the sub. Let me double check that here.
McKinney, I've got. Yeah, you're right. Duncan plus 320 sub, McKinney plus 420.
Well, Duncan has a lot of recent subs, which is why. But McKinney just won by sub.
He did.
But if either guy gets tagged, what's the first thing they're doing? They're shooting, especially McKinney. So either of them can shoot into a guillotine in this fight. Terrence McKinney's not getting out of Chris Duncan's guillotine, bro. I really don't think he is. And I also think McKinney can submit Duncan. So
yeah,
especially if he hurts him, if he tags him. I just think this fight ends by sub. It's got to end by sub, 4 out of 10 times, 5 out of 10 times?
How about 47.0% of the time, which is what my model's got.
That's your model? So plus 145 is a good number.
Absolutely. I've got it plus 113. It's the most likely outcome. The difference is that I have McKinney almost 3 times as likely to win by sub than Duncan.
So you're showing a ton of value on the plus.
I am. So I've got McKinney favored here, which is kind of crazy, right? But I think if this fight is a wildfire fight, I want McKinney, not Duncan. Where I would want Duncan is if, for whatever reason, Terrence was a little bit more reserved, because I think Duncan's the better fighter. But in kind of a wildfire fight, I think McKinney's the better athlete, and he's more accustomed to those fights.
Who's chinnier, though? That's the way I look at it.
Okay, so here's the thing about McKinney and his chinny rap. He got the Esteban Rybovic's head kick, right?
Yeah.
And the Ismail Bonfim flying knee. So I don't know if he's particularly chinny.
That's fair. No, that's fair. It's more about his gas tank for sure.
Yes. And that's what did him in against Drew Dober. And Duncan, I don't think Duncan's really chinny. That's kind of why I like sub here, is because I don't think either of these guys are particularly chinny.
Bro, the club and sub both ways is live, and the pure grappling submission.
That's how I expect. Honestly, I expect McKinney to shoot. It's
definitely going in my cycle. So I build 2 cycles a week now, since we, I don't know if that's
what sort of degenerate shit is that?
Bro,
I thought we had one official.
You know why I started doing it is because I would lose a cycle and I would do a backup cycle, and then I would hit the backup cycle, and then the whole world is pissed at me because the backup cycle I would make halfway through the card, so only so many people end up tailing it.
Yeah.
So now I'm like, fuck it. I'm just going to do 2 cycles before the card. So if you don't take both of them and one hits, that's your fault. Like, so now I put out 2 cycles every card. And look, at the end of the day, 1 cycle pays for fucking half a year. You know?
Yes. Yes.
Literally half a year. Maybe, I guess, a quarter of the year now that I do 2 a card. But, you know, I got to hit, you know.
And by the way, I want to point out our own Jake Knocker there. He did interview Chris Duncan on Homo Fight. Duncan did say round 2 submission for an exacto because Jake asked him, he's doing your service for you. He's like, what's the exacto I can give Matty as far as a bet on this fight? Yeah. And he said, here's where I will say, if he is hoping to get to round 2, that is not the right mentality in this fight. That's my opinion.
Yeah, well, he said he's going to weather a storm. And, but – bro, no matter how you play this fight, or no matter what it's just fight ends by sub. I'm not overthinking it.
I agree.
45 is crazy now. The more I look at it, and I'm glad your model has it at 47%.
Yeah.
I feel better about it because I was hoping I was going to get like plus 180, 200 range.
So these guys combined to average 2.7.
Grant Dawson training with Duncan a lot. That's a good point, bro.
Yeah. The ATT guy. Shut up, nerd.
I keep clicking on the wrong shit.
We're so back. We're so back. We are.
I
so
just click, bro. I just be clicking on the comments.
Shut up.
If I put up a bad comment, it's not intentional.
But like, so 2.7 submission attempts per 15 minutes for these guys. The attempt.
That's interesting, by the way. Not to interrupt you.
Yeah.
But getting McKinney sub in round 1.
And this is kind of what I talked about with Turner. You can really keep your Terrence exposure into the first 2 rounds. Funny enough, and I'm going to get clowned for this, my model has McKinney decision at 0.0%. No chance. Because the way he fades in fights, he's not winning minutes after like minute 7. So how is he going to win a decision if he's going to lose at least 8 minutes? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so it literally mathematically can't see how it's going to look, even though I know it's higher than 0%, but it's still not very high. I want McKinney in the first 2 rounds if I'm going to take him. And frankly, I actually already bet T-Rex money line because the way it's moving, I thought that Terrence McKinney money line on Tuesday was going to be higher than his round 1-2 line will be on Friday. That's my opinion. So we'll see if I end up right.
Yeah. Let me ask you one question before we move on. Who do you genuinely trust in this fight if it's a fight? Like, who's not going to quit out of the 2?
That's the thing is that if this fight is prolonged, if it starts round 2, you're going to feel great if you back Duncan. And that's kind of, that going in, right?
For sure.
Duncan's going to be the guy that doesn't quit. Duncan's going to be the guy that doesn't gas. We've seen him go decision.
I love both these guys. They both follow me on the gram. I love both these guys so much. I'm just excited to see this fight, and that's another reason I like the fight to end by sub. I don't have to pick a side.
Yeah, you don't have to. You don't have to. And it's still a pretty darn good number. And you got to. I like that angle a lot for both guys because then you're not kicking yourself if Terrence doesn't get it early, because if Duncan gets it later, you covered. I love that angle for you. I'm glad it'll be in a cycle for you. So
remind me how Chris Duncan got subbed on Manuel Torres. Was that a club and sub? Or did he actually get it? It was a rear naked choke, but did he grapple him up, or did he hurt him first? I think he hurt him on the feet.
Who are you talking about?
When Duncan got subbed by Manuel Torres in round 1.
Yes, he did hurt him on the feet.
He got tagged,
transition
right?
on the ground. Yeah.
That makes sense. Okay.
So that's good timing, Matty, because Manuel Torres is in our very next fight that we get to talk about in the featured prelim here. This is another banger.
Bro, there's so many good fights, bro. I don't know how people get hate on this card. It's a great card.
Yeah, there's 4 huge lightweight fights. This is another one where Dawson is inside the rankings. He is talking his talk this week. He says, I'm going to run through Torres because he's not a ranked guy, and you got to fight me a way better guy before it's going to be competitive. And then on the other side, Manuel Torres, he had the setback to Ignacio Bahamondes. But other than that, this is a guy that has been a wrecking ball that's won in the first round every other fight. So, I assume that the weighing decision here is Dawson is so good with his control and his grappling against Torres is a guy who could potentially chin him. Where do you fall on that equation? Because I got a very weird model result here.
Yeah, I think Grant Dawson is going to double leg this guy in the first 30 seconds of the fight, bro. He's not going to take any chances in this fight. And, I mean, Moicano raves about how good this guy's grappling is. His control on the ground. I think Dawson by sub is definitely live here. I think it could be around 2-3 maybe. It's not a great number, though. I want to get your opinion on that. It's plus 150 here.
I've got Dawson sub plus 470.
So it's a terrible number. Yeah. The decision probably has the most value, truthfully, at plus 425. But is this fight going to go the distance? Is Torres going to survive? If Dawson just grapples him up, is he really going to survive 15 minutes? Especially if Dawson has some nasty ground and pound too.
Yeah.
And that KO props at plus 550. I like Dawson by sub, but I just don't think I can play the number.
Whoa. A little surprising that I popped up and looked that Dawson inside the distance is minus 125 here. That's really steep. Is nobody afraid that this guy got knocked out by a Bobby Green jab? Is like nobody afraid of that?
I still think that's like the flukiest thing that ever happened though in UFC history. It was just so weird, bro.
Yeah, but Dawson's been hurt at other times too. Like Ricky Glenn had a decent sequence again. I think he's just generally kind of chinny. But the thing is, he's been so good about taking the striking element out of it. It really is just a question of the probability. If you like Torres here, round one knockout is plus 550, which was so short for a plus 180 underdog. But that's because I think it is kind of a round one KO or bust.
Yeah.
Does it now? This is a great comment we got. Young, I'm going to say it wrong. Young TY's 2780. Torres has good takedown defense. It's 88% on paper, and honestly, it's looked pretty good. So, does that concern you at all that he might be able to stuff an entry or two?
No, I just think there's levels, bro.
Yeah,
there's just levels to the guys that are trying to take him down to compare to to Grant Dawson. I mean, who's trying to take Manuel Torres down? Like, who are those attempts from?
So Chris Duncan landed a takedown against him. Let's see if anybody else has attempted. Obviously, Dober wouldn't. Yeah, okay. So just one other attempt facing.
There's no good reason. He hasn't faced any good wrestlers in the entire UFC, bro.
Yeah, and here's the best one at lightweight, pretty much, right? Like just takedowns and ability to get the fight to the ground. Dawson is the best lightweight on the planet. I'm pretty sure. Just that part of it. Now, where he's got to work is like being a little bit more violent with his top position, being a little bit more entertaining, maybe having more answers in terms of submission offense. But like, he is really good. But I think the thing that is interesting here is Torres is just so big and strong. Like, does it provide him enough resistance to potentially, does he come out hot? Because if he is able to control the center because he comes out super aggressive, he doesn't respect Dawson's chin. Couldn't this be one of these situations like you think back to Masvidal against Ben Askren or what Alex Pereira did to Magomed Ankalaev, where Dawson doesn't even get a chance to fight here because Torres just sprints at him from the opening bell?
Yeah, that'd be crazy.
I mean, like, that's how I think he's got to win, though.
Yeah, I think I like Dawson round 2, Dawson round 3. It's 5-1 and 8-1. I think that's where I'll be playing here. I think if he gets this fight down to the ground early, wears Torres down, I think he can sub him or ground and pound him by round 2 or 3 here. So I like those two numbers.
Fight is minus 215 to not go to round 3. I think honestly that's value. I just can't see Torres surviving a level of resistance that long if Dawson is indeed, because this is a guy that completely dominated Carlos Diego Ferreira. Like, Dawson has fought some really good guys now. Rafa Garcia had no answers.
Rafa Garcia never been put away by strikes, and Dawson landed a crazy ground and pound. I think that was Dawson's like real coming out party.
Agreed. Yeah,
Garcia like that. Yeah, I think he can win on the ground in rounds 2 and 3, whether it's ground and pound or club or a submission. So I'll just take the round props 2-3. I'll probably play a half unit on each of those and just hope he gets him out late.
Can I ask you, what do you think my model's recommendation is here?
Let me guess. Don't tell me Torres decision or some crazy.
Torres KO. I've got it plus 138.
Yeah.
I just don't think he's subbing Grant either, so that checks out. Sure. That, like, if he's gonna, and to me, if he's gonna win, it's by knockout. I think Torres plus 290, but I don't even know if I'd get that cute with it. I think I'd just go round 1 because both guys have been dropped. Yeah, that's another thing.
I would play if you're gonna play Torres KO, I play round 1 too. Because if he hurts Dawson but then gets taken down in round 1 and doesn't get up, he's still live in the first 2 minutes of round 2, I think, to get that KO.
Yeah. I'm curious. Like, I'm looking at chat. It kind of looks like Torres is the preferred side here. Are you seeing that in our chat as well?
It's because people like the exciting guy there.
But and this is okay. Here's another system play. I gave you the prop up spot. This featured prelim has consistently delivered the younger, exciting guy by early finish. And I'm going to give you my theory as to why I think this is. ESPN hasn't wanted to get up against their TV window to a point where they haven't had time to send it to the desk with Chael Sonnen and screaming at us in sunglasses. To me, they have wanted to schedule exciting early finishes in this spot. That said, I think Dawson can absolutely get one himself here. So I don't know if this particular fight, that's the read, but like, there have been some other ones like Gauthier was in the featured prelim spot. I think they want early finishes in this prelim spot, and that has to favor Torres would be my argument. But I do think Dawson can get one too. So it's not the giveaway it is, but just do you buy that theory of mine at all? Because I think it's a theory.
I think it's possible, bro.
I think strategically they've really tried to, especially logistically, make these early finishes. So, unfortunately, I'm on a lot of dogs too, and it hadn't been working all of 2025. So the kids aren't getting any presents if some of these underdogs don't come through for us. But all righty, Matty, why don't we move on? Not to the main card, but first, I am able to give, for the first time, I'm able to give Hayden and Nolan the ad read that they deserved, because when I last left, these two guys were winning. Here's a gigantic shocker. They're still winning because they're awesome at what they do. Hayjive has profited 29 out of the last 40 cards. That's a crazy run. That's basically almost the entire year. And then Nolan, 7 cards in a row, making profit as well on his betting picks. They're up over 70 units combined in 2025, still with 2 cards to go. And if you play it right, you can get both of those cards, the last 2 cards of the year, for free, because code HOF will give you 7 days free with Home of Fight picks to be able to get access to these guys, get in the Discord, look around, sniff around, winners right in your inbox. That's code HOF at homeofightpicks.com or on Winnable for 7 days free. And go ahead and join the true sharps that keep the lights on here. Matty and I are just guessing, and we're having fun doing so, but those guys are absolute sharps and pros at what they do. Plus, for listening to Matty Betts UFC show tonight, the first 50 people to DM the Home of Picks Instagram, and you have to be following, you DM them, we'll get all the picks and parlays in the Discord for free. So make sure you're following. You can send Home Picks Instagram a DM. 50 of those people will get the picks for free as well. So if you want to go to Instagram, you have a chance. You don't have to pay anything for this particular week's picks from Nolan and Hayden. So those guys are awesome what they do. I cannot give them enough love. And the picks Discord's fun. I'm in there. Matty will sometimes post his stuff in there, even though he's more active on Telegram, to be honest with you. But
Austin's back every week, guys. If you're just tuning in now, we just crossed 3,000 concurrent viewers. So appreciate everyone for tuning in. Let's see if we can get to 4,000 here by the end of the main card. But Austin, we'll be back every Wednesday. So Austin's back. He's here to stay. Obviously, we won't be here on off weeks of the UFC, but we'll be here every week. There's a UFC card.
Yeah, man. We got a lot of those coming up. We got a 6-week break after next week's card, man. It's like a lot of off weeks right as we were getting going.
We got to come back on for the Jake Paul fight, bro.
Sure. I'll do that. I'm always loving
What's your Jake fucking Paul model say, dude? Jake Paul versus Anthony Joshua. What's the model say?
I will build a celebrity boxing model and get back to everybody. I'll see what I got. I've actually bet
boxing model, bro. That's not a celebrity.
Yeah, I have actually bet those fights particularly well. Like, it's a little surprising. And by the way, since I last saw you guys, I had my first profitable contender series year. So things are trending up for film guy Swaim over here. But like, no, and it is good to be back. And by the way, if I just want to put this out there, I'm currently a sports betting free agent in terms of all other sports besides UFC. So if you have a job, CBS Sports, ESPN, Yahoo, whoever, you can come scoop me up. But the only condition is I'm doing this show with Matty. No ifs, ands, or buts about it, because I love doing it. And I've lost too much money not doing it. So with that said, why don't we move on to the main card here? And a little interesting that this one got the bump here. Jan Blachowicz and Bogdan Guskov on the main card. But I think that's respect to Jan as a former champion. And Guskov is kind of on a little bit of a run himself. He knocked out Nikita Krylov. He had the fight with L.A. Kana that has aged well. So the odds are pretty close here. Jan at this point, I don't know what his title path is or what his motivation is. I do know what Guskov's is, which is get on a winning streak, get in the title picture. So, Matty, Bogdan trains with your guy, Walter Walker. I was wondering if you had any inside information for me about how you feel about him in this fight.
I actually do not. I should ask him.
Mm-hmm.
I like Bogdan Guskov, bro. You know what's crazy is I would not pick him in this fight if it wasn't for that Nikita Krylov performance.
Yeah.
Like, I think that really showed, like, because I'm a big Nikita Krylov guy. I think the guy's very good. But I mean, Bogdan Guskov's now 15-1 to the KO. He got subbed by Volkan Oezdemir, but as you know, I'm always very high on Volkan Oezdemir. I just made a freaking bag on Oezdemir round 1 KO over Alonzo Metafield.
Boy, was that easy for him.
Oh my God. What a perfect matchup stylistically for him. But yeah, so I mean, I think Guskov's legit. I really do. The problem is Blachowicz is just an OG, bro. 42 years old, durable, well-rounded. Do you think he offensively wrestles here? Like, you think maybe this looks like the Peloton Blachowicz fight, right? Where John even got Peloton's back in round 1. It gives me deja vu here, bro, because I took Peloton by decision at plus 650 in that fight, and it smacked.
Yeah.
And I've never gotten more hate pre-fight on a pick in my life. Everyone was like, dude, Peloton's just going to knock him out.
Yeah.
Or Jan's going to sub him. And I was sweating round 1, but like a 3-round fight, and Blachowicz just has to grapple a little bit to like keep the clock moving, and so he's not in too much danger. And Peloton ended up winning. I think it was 2 rounds to 1. I think it might have even been a split. I don't remember, but I know he won 29-28. But my question here to you is like, what's your motto look like on Guskov decision? Because unless you think Blachowicz is just over the hill at this point at 42, the guy's durable as shit, bro.
Yeah.
And there's a world where Guskov could just outpoint him here, depending if the number makes sense. It could be something that was worth playing. But as far as a money line side here, I don't really know what the hell to do with this fight. I'd rather just try to find a value on a prop here.
Yeah. I'm stuck in the middle. I've got Blachowicz minus 120. So like I don't have anything from a money line perspective either. I gotta be honest with you, I'm a little surprised that Jan opened as the favorite here and it's kind of stayed there. Like UFC fans don't typically like betting on old guys that have lost a bunch of fights recently. And that's kind of Jan. But when he's surviving to the end against Olberg and competitive, I think it's the thing. It's so funny. We just got this comment because I have this sentence almost verbatim in my betting primer loaded up. I do not feel comfortable saying that when Jan fought Ferreira, I think he was like 38 or 39. I feel really badly if I'm backing him here because I think he's going to successfully be able to wrestle Guskov for a round or two. And like, I know that Ryan Spann had some success doing that, but I feel like Ryan Spann is a much better athlete than Jan at this point. Like to me, Ryan Spann has these moments where he looks like one of the best light heavyweights on the planet. And then he has the other moments where he fights like an idiot and he ends up getting finished. So like I thought,
oh my God, I wanted to pull my fucking hair out.
right. And it's like, so how much do I hold it against Guskov that he was able to be taken down here? And frankly, I think Jan sapping his own gas tank might work against him because what have we learned about Guskov so far? He's tough. He's durable. His cardio is really pretty good. He's always in good shape. And to me, training with Walter out there, I have to imagine his grappling and his submission defense is probably improved and pretty good. He's, the Oezdemir result in his UFC debut comes over from Uzbekistan, probably nerves, but also, it was a club and sub. It wasn't just like took him down and submitted him thing. He was hurt before that by a really dangerous guy. At this point, I know Jan's nickname is Polish Power, but he's 42 and his knockdown rate is below 0.7%. So, like, there's not a lot of Polish power left in his hands.
Wow.
It's not very high.
When was his last knockdown?
It was a long time ago, man. Let me check. It was against Dom Reyes in 2020 when he won the title.
Wow.
And Guskov's been a pretty durable guy. Like, if other than Oezdemir, he didn't get knocked down by Spann. The Krylov fight.
What would you line Oezdemir versus Blachowicz right now?
Oh man, Volkan's got to be at least minus 200 in that fight.
I was gonna say 2-1 favorite easily, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%.
And
I'm leaning more and more towards Guskov here, bro. But hear me out.
Yeah.
This is the same fucking concept as the Bruno Ferreira fight, bro.
Yeah.
I can get Guskov by points at 6-1. Like, tell me I'm crazy to not play that or to play that.
You're not crazy. FanDuel has plus 750, by the way, for those out there. That's a good number.
Bro, think of it this way. We're getting these guys that just get finishes their whole career.
Yeah.
And we're getting a crazy number on the decision because of their history.
Yeah.
When they're fighting guys that are historically extremely durable. I mean, it's the definition of value in my view.
Yeah, in my official model recommendation would be submission decision, because this is how I have it. I have KO plus 406. I have decision plus 530, so that's showing value against your number. And then sub, I've got plus 920.
What do you have Guskov decision modeled at?
Plus 530.
So it's value. It's crazy.
I think so too. Even though, I'm so conflicted.
11-7 in decisions, bro. The guy loses a lot of decisions. I mean, what am I missing, bro? You know what that would pay if I took Guskov decision parlayed with Ferreira decision? It's 36-1. I get the near favorite in both fights to win on the scorecards at 36-1.
Yeah.
I get a favorite and a mini dog.
You know what you're asking for there, though, right? You're asking to get kicked in the balls with a judging decision is what you're asking for.
At 36-1, I'll take honestly, I don't want to put both those guys in the cycles because I need a cycle with a more conservative decision.
Okay.
I don't mind putting the Ferreira one in there at plus 425. And then the sub and the KO legs will be south of plus 200.
Yeah.
But which one do you like better? Like if you took Guskov at 7-1 on points or Ferreira at 4.5-1?
I think I like Guskov better because I would believe Ferreira has more of an ability to finish Vettori than Guskov does Jan.
I'm the opposite.
Do you think? Oh, really? That's interesting. So, do you think?
I mean, Jan is 42.
Yeah,
he's been put away. Vettori's his shin has never been cracked.
That's a good point. I mean, this was
KOs,
way back in the day. Thiago Majeda Santos did knock out Jan. So it's about the same where I think both of them are value, but I understand maybe wanting to go for a more conservative decision, especially since I think there are ones coming on the card that you can get a more conservative decision.
There's some upcoming fights that, we'll talk.
I didn't realize this. Okay. I won't spoil it now because it'll give kind of some of my takes away from the end, but I had a funny thing when I was sending some stuff to Garrett Kerman earlier today, but why don't we move forward there? I don't have anything I can do with this fight because I'm a little surprised with the way the total looks. It's minus 200 to not go the distance. Blachowicz and Guskov is that's a little surprising, right? For two guys that don't really get put away very often.
Yeah.
Who is more likely to put who away would be my question to you.
I mean, if Blachowicz chops the shit out of his legs.
Good point.
I don't know though, bro. I mean, Guskov, you would think Guskov could find the chin, but I'll stand on it. Give me Guskov by points 7-1. I think it's crazy value.
That's the only thing I'm showing value in, Matty. So maybe it's meant to be. To be. All righty. Yep. We are back. We are rolling. I think we're pretty good on. Yeah, we're not too bad on time.
Oh, we're good. Guys,
by our standards.
Smash the like button, guys. Smash the like button. Comment below. If you're watching from Twitter or Facebook, come over to YouTube. Matty Bet's YouTube channel. We're up to 3,400 concurrent viewers. Let's try to get to 4,000 here by the main event. Just smash the like button for us.
Yes, and tell your friends Austin and Matty are back together again. All right, let's break down this next one here. We got Peyton Talbot taking on Triple C, the king of cringe, Henry Cejudo, coming off retirement for God knows what reason, but UFC using this as a spot. Peyton Talbot, a very highly thought of prospect. The decisiveness of the Felipe Lima fight was very impressive from Talbot, right? And so now he's a giant favorite over Henry, who has confirmed that this is his last fight. He's walking away after this. I hate betting on fighters that are retiring. I don't even think it's something I can do anymore because it feels like you get inconsistent efforts and things of that nature. So, Matty, what do you think about this fight? Talbot, pretty highly positioned. I actually haven't looked at the prop market. I'll be interested to see what it says. But what do you think? What do you think about this one?
Yeah, I'm rooting for Henry Cejudo. I like Henry. He's my boy. I'm rooting for him. I kind of feel bad for the guy sometimes when like his whole story of retiring and coming back, and then, bro, he's a world-class athlete, wrestling, MMA. He's a funny guy. He's a nice guy. I'm rooting for him to win. That reach advantage is definitely not right on that graphic. I think Cejudo is a 64-inch reach. So Peyton Talbot, the problem is if Cejudo got this fight a couple fights ago before Talbot fought Hani Barcelos, I think Cejudo wins this fight. But I think Peyton Talbot has now seen, it's not the same level of wrestling, obviously, but Barcelos is a good MMA wrestler. Don't get it twisted.
Yep.
And I think Talbot has now evolved from that. And I think that he's just too skilled and long on the feet. And I think he's going to outpoint Henry here, but I'm rooting for Henry to get it done. I think Henry would try to close the distance. I think he might even land some shots, faking the takedowns and throwing some shots upstairs. Henry tagged Merab. He's really the only guy to tag Merab outside of Marlon Moraes, like to actually wobble him.
Yeah.
So Henry can't be, he can't be underestimated here, but I do think Peyton Talbot's very skilled, bro. His last performance was really impressive, and I think he's well-rounded his game out. So I think Peyton Talbot by decision here at even money. I believe it's even money. I don't even think it's that bad of a bet, truthfully, but I'm rooting for Cejudo.
Yeah, I don't have a whole lot here because I just knew with Cejudo retiring, that's kind of what's inflated this line. I've got Talbot at 58.1% likely to win, so that's about minus 138 or so, which feels right to me. Like, because Peyton hasn't faced the same level of competition. Cejudo's been fighting in the top 10 basically the last, half decade or so. It's just the physical disadvantages for Henry have challenged him. And that was the thing, is that I bet him as an underdog against Song Yadong, and he was never really in any danger than that fight other than getting poked in the eye over and over again. But like, he athletically didn't have the speed and he didn't have the offense to compete. And so like, if Henry's going to win this fight, it's because he's just able to take Peyton down and control him. But the thing to remember about that Barcelos fight, even though Hayoni landed like 8 takedowns, Talbot was able to get away from him a few times. Like, his get-up game wasn't that bad. I'm laughing at the comments.
Well, I really do think sportsbooks are going to start putting up props on iPicks. That'd be sick.
Oh, can we, in light of the Isaac Dolgarian result, can we not have more niche prop bets? Can we not do that? But like, I agree with you. I've got a little bit of value on this fight to go the distance. I've got it minus 236. It's minus 205 in some spots. So like, and that's the thing. I have a hard time seeing Peyton.
We didn't even talk about, like, this is his actual last fight. He said he promises, like, he's actually retired. Let me ask you a question. If Cejudo goes out and starches Peyton Talbot, you really think his ass is retiring?
That's a great question. That's a great point. And there's no
he
way
will not be able to retire if that result, bro. There's
Yeah.
no chance. If you go out and knock out Peyton Talbot, you're right back in the mix, bro.
Yeah.
That's a young up and comer here. Like,
yeah, Henry would probably be hoping for that sort of result, and then Jan beats Merab in convincing fashion, and then maybe he can try to get a title fight out of that.
They ain't gonna give it to him.
I agree, and that's why I'm a little questioning of Henry's motivation here. I think it's more celebratory of what he's done rather than. Oh, we got a Peyton Talbot interview up on Home of Fight YouTube in 15 minutes. We're going to have to check that out. Peyton Talbot's legitimately one of the funniest, most interesting personalities in UFC. Like, he's just a different dude. Like, I've enjoyed getting to see some of the behind the scenes stuff. But I think this is one of those fights where there isn't any value in the outcome that I believe is going to happen. So maybe when I go back to the safe parlay, I might look at this one to go the distance minus 205.
Yeah.
And then, not have to sweat the scorecards, but I can't see Talbot finishing Henry if he couldn't finish Felipe Lima. And at the same time, I don't know what Henry's never been a guy with a lot of submission danger.
You don't like Felipe Lima, do you?
No, I think Felipe Lima's a pretty good prospect. I thought Talbot was going to beat him though.
Yeah.
Everyone
was taking Felipe Lima just because of the Hani Barcelos fight. That's all. It was just a narrative. But
yes.
But I think both guys are phenomenal. Like, I think Lima's a very good future.
Yeah, like Lima dominated Miles Johns, which is he's not an easy guy to dominate. So
yeah,
I have a lot of respect for that win from Talbot. And like, at this point, Henry just doesn't have a lot of control. He doesn't have a lot of submission danger. Like, it's very hard for him.
His submission is 30-1, which is crazy.
Yeah, he's never been a submission guy. He's really just been a wrestler. And Talbot has shown really good scrambles. And I think I can so clearly see it. Henry sets the gloves down after he loses 30-27. So maybe you get around a little bit of juice. Some books have unanimous decision props or point spreads or all sorts of different creative ways you can look here. But I think I'm going to circle back to this guy for the safe parlay. But other than that, I don't have a lot of action on it.
Yeah, fair enough.
All righty. We'll stick with the littler guys here. Flyweight, 2 straight flyweight fights here because the title will be on the line in the next fight after this. Tatsuro Tyra taking on Brandon Moreno. Maybe a little bit surprising that the former champion Moreno is an underdog here to Tyra, who's always been kind of the chosen one, the promised one, if you will, right? But people are buying the hype. He's 25 years old. He's about minus 130 or so here in this spot. Matty, is Tyra good chalk, or is Moreno just this obvious value in plain daylight that people maybe are falling a little bit in love with the shiny toy here?
This is a hard fight, bro. This is a really hard fight. The problem is, like, Moreno is so skilled, dude. I like anytime you bet against him, you feel fucking stupid, bro.
Yes.
Like, at least I do. The problem is the guy does get taken down. Like, he does get taken down when guys try to take him down.
Yep.
And Tyra's very good. I mean, his grappling's very good. I think the Brandon Royval loss was a good loss for him. That now, like, I think he's going to improve so much from that. I was looking at Tyra by decision here, bro, but it's plus 145. I think he can get Moreno's back and control him for at least 1 or 2 rounds. And I think his striking's good too. Like, his striking is not bad. I mean, obviously there's levels of Moreno, but his striking is his striking's good enough to set up the takedowns, I think.
Yeah.
Or at least get like control up against the cage or something. I mean, Moreno's very good footwork and a good jab too, so maybe he can like keep range and keep distance here. But I kind of think Tatsuro Tyra can win this one on the cards, but I don't love the number, I'm gonna be honest. And then Moreno decision's plus 175, and that's honestly. You know, I see the argument for both sides here. I mean, do you think there'll be a finish in this fight?
No. I've got the fight 71.4% likely to go the distance. I'm actually short of odds makers there, but it's still pretty.
Minus 300.
Yeah.
That's expensive.
Yeah. I mean, I've got it minus 250, so I'm not showing value, but like, yeah, that's a pretty prohibitive result in my opinion.
Yeah.
And I agree with you that I think that so I've got Tyra a tiny favorite here, 52.2%. At a pick'em, I could bet him. At the current price, I can't. And like, I'm outside of value range on all of the props as well, just because of the way that the handle comes in. There's not a single one I have showing value because both guys by points. Tyra's plus 150, Moreno's plus 170. Well, I've got it plus 170, plus 190. So I don't really have any. I don't have any particular way to bet this fight. And just like myself, I have a hard time visualizing either guy finishing the other one because Moreno's been in there with Prime Figgy. He's been in there with Pantoja. Like, you know, he didn't get subbed by those guys and all of a sudden Tyra's going to get him. It just kind of doesn't really follow a logical path, right?
For sure. Is there a chance that Tyra's actually the better back taker out of him and Pantoja?
I was going to ask you a similar question in that I think 1-2 in terms of grappling control in this division. It's Pantoja, Tyra, and maybe not in that order, right?
I'm such a big Pantoja guy, and we'll get into that here in a little. But
yeah,
I mean Tyra's fucking good though. I think he's really good. What did you think of the Brandon Royval performance in that fight in general?
I think that was a fight where Tyra was almost a little surprised at how active Royval was.
Tyra had him in danger multiple times in submissions, right?
And he just could not find a way to get him out of there. And eventually, you know, his gas tank just could not keep up because Royval is this 25-minute Energizer bunny. When you think of the fight,
would it have been 2-1 if it was 3 rounds?
Yes. I thought Tyra had 1 and 3 in that fight, and then Royval won the later rounds as well. I'd have to go back and look, but
this is good insight right here.
Mikey Mushmechi.
I mean, it doesn't get more high level than that on the ground.
I was gonna say, is he gonna butt scoot toward him and try to do the ankle? Isn't that Mikey's thing? Is the ankle lock?
Or defensively, if he's working with him to escape, like I don't see Moreno gonna get choked out, bro. I really don't.
Yeah,
especially in a 3-rounder. I mean, Moreno's never been put away, but the guy's 7-8. on decisions. I mean, that tells the story right here. If you want to beat Brandon Moreno, you're going to go to the scorecards, and there's over a 50% chance you're beating him. So I think I have to trust my gut here, bro.
Yeah.
I'm going to go Tatsuro Tyra by decision. I would have liked to get a little bit better of a number than plus 145 here, especially on a minus 130 favorite. But I mean, Moreno's never been put away, and the guy's 7-8 when it goes the distance. So I actually think plus 145 is not as bad as a number as I initially thought here.
Right. It's one of those fights my model's going to have a hard time catching up with the overwhelming probability that this fight goes the distance.
Yeah. That's fair. I mean,
because they finished other guys that weren't as good. But it's just so tough. In these flyweights, it's kind of what was startling about Pantoja making it look so easy against Kara Francis. These guys are so good. It is so hard to get a finish in this division at the top level.
Yeah. I mean, Moreno did get subbed against Pantoja back in 2016.
Yeah, the first fight before
that was like show up on his Tapology record though. Is that weird?
Was that Ultimate Fighter?
Yeah, it was Ultimate Fighter season 24.
Yeah, that's why. It's because it was but that was like exhibition before Moreno left UFC like the first time. Right. It was a long time ago. And I feel like he's progressed so much. The one thing I will say is that Moreno in general has been a stock that I'm trying to short. Number one, he's very popular, which does influence the odds market a little bit. Number two, he's with Fortis MMA, and you go look around Fortis MMA, there are not a lot of guys on winning streaks from Fortis at this point. Like Jeff Neal has been sliding. Like a lot of the Fortis guys have been struggling. Hayden and I have talked about this at length before, is that Fortis is probably the worst major gym in the sport. And like, I don't think that is the place where Moreno, if he wants to get back in title contention, where he's going to find some of the answers in the margins. Cause I just don't think Fortis is a very good gym.
Yeah.
Well, it sucks to say I'm 4 hours from there here in Texas. But yeah. I think we can move on. There's just not a whole lot there. There's a whole lot more in this fight. It's an interesting matchup between Alexandre Pantoja taking on Josh Van, the cult hero, the fan favorite. I mean, after Van put on that fight against Brandon Royval, that was just like two dudes trading boxing blows in a phone booth for 15 minutes. There was no way the winner of that fight was not going to get a title shot. It was Josh Van. So now he will have the puzzle of trying to figure out someone that can beat Alexandre Pantoja, because flyweight has had these dominant champions. They had Mighty Mouse. They had Prime Figgy. And it feels like Pantoja is a little bit that same guy, the boogeyman at 125 now. What odds do you give Josh Van of being able to actually dethrone him here?
I think he should be like plus 400, bro.
Wow, interesting. Go ahead. Yeah.
I mean, the guy is going to be the champ one day. He's 24 years old, but
yeah,
this is too much too soon. He has no game plan for the fight, he said. I don't think he's being dishonest either. I think he's telling the truth. They're not even bringing in anyone to replicate Pantoja's style. I don't understand it. I know Josh Van has very good takedown defense, but it doesn't matter because Pantoja is going to just put on that Marab style where he's striking and he's in your face, and then you're up against the cage, and then it's relentless takedowns.
Yeah.
And Josh Van, you got to chin a guy like Pantoja to beat him here. And if you don't do that, you're not winning a 5-rounder against him. I know you probably disagree. I think you like Van on points here, if I remember correctly. But do you really think that Van – I just don't – he's got to drop him. He's got to damage him. I don't see him just winning I don't even see him winning a pure boxing match here with the way that Pantoja's style is and his aggression. And he doesn't slow down, bro. So I like Pantoja. I'm a big Josh Van fan in general.
Yeah. But
I've learned the hard way. Like Pantoja, he's been on our podcast. I just talked to Moicano today on the podcast. He's like, bro, he said, this guy, you should watch him train. Like he does bag work, mitts, sparring. Then he's back at a fucking circuit workout. Then he's lifted. Like the guy is a literal machine. Like him and Marab are literal. It's back-to-back machine performances coming up tomorrow or Saturday night.
Okay.
I mean, I'm not willing to bet against either of them. I'm just not. I'll spoil it for you on the main event. Even though that Peter Yan KO prop is fucking tasty. It is fucking tasty, bro. Yeah. But I'm not willing to do it. Pantoja, I think he's still in his prime at 35, bro. Like he's that good. And he's trying to like, I think he can just keep rallying up this title defenses. I think Demetrius Johnson had 12 11? How many
It
titles?
was something crazy. I think
Pantoja's
Mighty
just
Mouse.
going for it. I don't think he should move up and wait. I think he should just keep rolling in the cash, keep winning. And I think he can do this till he's 40, bro, easily. But Josh Van, I think there will be a second fight here within the next 2 years. I really do. But I'm going with Pantoja here. Now, hear me out. The whole world's on the sub. We already know that.
Yeah.
Is there enough value there? Because call me crazy, bro, but that KO prop is plus 750. Plus 750.
You know what's interesting is that I have two anglers. And by the way, I love the guy. My favorite chatter amongst all of you is the guy that keeps asking me what my model says because it makes me feel like I've actually done something. I rebuilt this thing in the last 2 weeks, so I appreciate the love about it. But I actually have knockout more likely than submission for Pantoja here. But, what? But the thing is that you got to understand what my model's looking at. Van hasn't been submitted in UFC. He's been submitted once as a pro. Pantoja, actually, when it's pulling this data, Pantoja has 8 wins by knockouts to 12 submissions. So it's like a decent rate of KO versus sub.
Yeah, the KO is 750 and the subs plus 160.
But everyone's public consensus
has really been pinned in the UFC. We see it.
And right now, that's what my model sees is what concerns does it have about Van? Well, it has the knockout loss and the chin questions, right? It doesn't have any submission questions. And I know that nobody on Pantoja's level has been there, but like the conventional wisdom around this fight is Pantoja is going to take him down, get his back, and show levels, right? Like that you're paying that for the submission prop. Half of my handicap on this is I think if you like Pantoja, I would go knockout over submission, but you're right that my model does like Van here. And it's really hard not to when a guy is landing. A guy has fought in the rankings now, for 3 straight fights. He lands almost 9 significant strikes per minute. Elite striking defense, 57%. Takedown defense, his anti-grappling. I told you that when you and I were split on him against Durden. I was like, I think this guy defends takedowns at maybe some of the best level in UFC, right? And my final point here would be like, how can you feel so confident that Pantoja is going to do that to Josh Van when he did not do that to Steve Erceg? And that fight was competitive going into round 5, and then he was able to get the takedown and actually secure that round. Like, I don't understand how you go, like, Van is a harder version of the Erceg matchup, right? Like, what does Erceg do better than Van?
Erceg's much taller and longer.
He is big. He is larger. Yeah, that is one factor.
Big difference, bro.
But at the same time, doesn't that help Van in terms of scrambling out, getting to his knees, getting back to his feet? Like when you're on bottom
KO prop, I kind of like the guy that's been chinned and is smaller. Like Erceg is just a weird puzzle for some of these guys at flyweight. Like, Moreno made it look a lot easier than Pantoja did in the Erceg fight, right?
Yeah. I will say that the fight that concerns me is that I said this exact same thing about Kai Kara-France, and Kara-France made a lot of basic defensive mistakes, like it wasn't even competitive. And all of a sudden, Josh Van might get shown levels here, but I don't really feel like I'm missing out on it. What is Pantoja's sub? It's like what?
Plus 160, bro.
Yeah, it's a pretty tiny number to a point where like I think it is Van or pass, and my model likes decision for Josh because obviously Pantoja hasn't been finished in UFC. I don't think he's been finished as a pro. He is 20-0 by finish as a pro. I like Pantoja. I just think this is a difficult matchup for him. But the thing that is scaring me, I haven't bet Van. I'm not going to bet Van as of right now, even though the line is inching his way a little bit. I still got to think about it because this division has had these dominant champs, and Pantoja kind of feels like the next one, right? It's hard to see like a 24-year-old kid who just got knocked out by Charles Johnson now dethroning an all-time great. Like that's a hard thing to think of, but we've seen crazy upsets before.
I got to tell you these round props real quick. It's not even that great, bro. Pantoja round 4 is 10-1, round 5 is 11-1. Those numbers are probably better on FanDuel and DraftKings, though.
Okay.
But even if you can get 12-1, 15-1, round 4, 5 there, if you shop a book, whatever, and then you get it both ways. You get the KO or sub late.
Yeah.
If you think Pantoja can drown him. Has Van been in a 5-rounder?
No.
In any other organizations or anything?
No.
Yeah.
He's 24, man.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
It's just it's kind of a crazy fight to conceptualize, but when I analytically look at Josh Van and his profile, it's funny. I was like the Josh Van guy, and then I started losing money. I bet Royval against him like an idiot, dude. And then who was the other fight that I thought there was value against him? And, Bruno Silva. And Silva went on to win his last fight, but he hasn't been doing particularly well. So, gut feeling, Josh Van win. Josh Van is beloved by Colt UFC fans. So, like, I think there is popularity on both sides at play here. I don't think it's like the odds are inflated or anything. I know what my model says, but I still feel like minus 265 is fair for Pantoja. I don't think it's like growing outright value when you saw him perform against Kai Kara France in a similar matchup.
Yeah. I want to see Josh Van on Instagram. I'm just curious now on the popularity. He's already at 300K. I mean, he's going to explode if he wins this fight.
I know.
What's the over-under of his Instagram followers if he wins this fight?
500,000, right? Like, I mean, if this guy takes Pantoja's shine off him, what do you think? So this fight is minus 148 to start the fourth round on FanDuel. What do you think of that?
I think it's about right.
Favored to start round 4. That would scare the dickens out of me if I was betting Pantoja if this fight made it to round 4.
Yeah, but you can make the argument the other way too. This man's never been in a 5-rounder, and Pantoja, I don't think he showed slowing down.
Yeah,
do you feel like he slowed down in the Ursig fight or the Moreno fight? I don't think so.
His cardio's good. Like he breathes a weird way that it looks like he's tired, but he doesn't look tired in terms of his movement.
Yeah.
I think they both have good cardio. So don't laugh at my mannerisms, man. You know I'm a dork. That's why you guys brought me back. You loved me. Matty's cool, and he's at casinos at 3 a.m. I'm playing League of Legends. That's the difference between us.
Yeah. All right, we gotta do the main event, bro.
All righty, let's do it. I didn't forget the signage, so we are so back. Merab Dvalishvili. Boy, the cat is out of the bag on Merab. Remember when this guy was an underdog to Sean O'Malley? He's now minus 500 against.
Remember when Merab was an underdog in the first fight, Peter Yan fight, right? It was plus 200, I think.
I laid the chalk with Piotr Yan. I was a dumb but like
it's crazy how that shit works, bro. The 5-1 favorite was a 2-1 dog. Few years ago, or however many years ago it was.
Merab was on the prelims of the third fight I ever covered for FanDuel with it was like at the Apex, and he took some guy down like 15 times. I'm like, this dude is sick. And I never would have thought that translated to like the championship level, but it has. I don't know.
That was 2023. That's not even that long ago. That's crazy.
That was at that weird fight in Vegas. It was like at the Virgin hotels out there or whatever. Like it was like it was like in Vegas, but it wasn't in Vegas. It was a weird. It wasn't a next, but but Merab was dominant in that fight, and that's really when I kind of think he became the machine. It was like, well, if he did that to Piotr Yan, who's going to stop him from doing that to everyone else? And he's just dominated this entire time. So minus 500 in this spot, Matty. But like, is it value? Like, is there any shot of a Piotr Yan dog shot? Like, how does he win? Like. Is this a really hard of a fight to bet in the main event as I think it is?
Yeah, I mean, look, I can make the argument that there's a better chance Merab KOs Peter Yan than Yan KO Merab. What does your mind think about that? Because
I mean, I've got both of them north of 15-1, so it's not super likely on either side.
Yeah, I just don't think Peter Yan is the right style to beat Merab. Like, I think to beat Merab, you have to have a lethal submission game, like crazy front chokes, right? Or you have to have Marlon Moraes type power, where it's like you can tag the shit out of him and put his lights out. But if you don't sub him in the first 10 minutes or you don't put his lights out, you're just not winning on a 25-minute fight. So as good as Peter Yan is, I just don't think he wins. I don't know that minus 500 is value, but I don't know. I mean, I'm seeing minus 425 right now. So if you guys want to put in your parlays, that's up to you. But that's not how I bet anyways. You guys know me. I don't fucking do – I think the dumbest thing you can do in MMA is put 7 motherfuckers in a parlay and then you have 7 perfect reads, and then one guy loses a split decision because of a bullshit judge. Like, I do not bet that way. You guys know me by now. I'd rather put 2 specific outcomes or 3 specific outcomes in a parlay than take 8 money lines all day of the week. So I don't know how people do that in the NFL, in the UFC. Minus 400 leg in there, minus 300, minus 250, minus 150. Like, something's going to go wrong. So I just don't bet that way.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I think Merab wins this fight. I'm the idiot that was on Merab by KO against Corey Sandhagen. It was the last leg of my parlay, and it almost smacked.
I don't think that was an idiotic bet. Yeah, he hurt him.
Yeah, TKO'd on the feet, bro. Some referees would have stopped that. And I'm not saying it should have been stopped, but some referees would have stopped that fight, and I would have cashed for like 40 or 50K. So I kind of want to go back to it here, but Peter Yan's never been chinned. I mean, he's never been knocked out. I believe I played round 3, 4, 5 KO in this first matchup that I obviously lost on. But
yeah,
I mean, can you get behind a Merab like 3, 4, 5 play here, or is that crazy?
I just have a hard time seeing him finish Yan because
that's crazy, bro. Yeah. Merab round 3 is shorter than round 4 and 5. Or no, it's longer than round 4 and 5.
Oh, okay. So it's basically saying like the gas out angle is the shorter play.
Exactly. Okay. So Merab, again, these props are probably way better elsewhere, but Merab round 3 is 20-1, and then round 4 and 5 are 17.5-1.
You know what I think that is?
I don't know if I've ever seen that before.
I think they're protecting the 4-5 decision prop is what they're protecting with shortening those odds. That's what it sounds like to me. But like, yeah, the question is,
this is the only angle to me, not to interrupt you, but
yeah,
if you truly believe the guy is a human being and he's not just a machine,
yeah,
at some point the activity has to get to you. We saw it. Who do we see it recently with?
Oh, I know who you're talking about. Like like we see it with Kevin Holland all the time, but they just fought
RDR. We saw it with RDR.
Yeah.
RDR was just this animal, right? And he was just killing people. Bo Nickel terminated him, winning all these fights. 5 rounds of Robert Whittaker. Next thing you know, the guy's fucking toast, bro. The weight cuts, all of this stuff. Is there a chance if you're playing Peter Yan's money line based off of that narrative? I get it. I do get it. I do think. But again, it's like, is he going to chin him? Even Merab's 80%, his 80% cardio is better than the whole world. It doesn't matter.
I mean, Merab's chin is maybe his most underrated aspect. The dude just eats right hands for breakfast like it's no problem. It is like I was about to say the exact same thing, Matty, is that if you are betting Yan here, you are projecting decline for Merab. He is 34. This is his 4th fight of the year. Like, because when you look at the first fight, Yan did a really good job defending the takedowns. He stuffed 38 of 49 of them. The problem is he attempted 49 of them, so Yan didn't even have an opening to get his offense off. And like, if the Merab that fought Sandhagen shows up again against Yan, and just how is there enough openings for Yan to get enough offense to win rounds? Like, maybe we get to a point where it's like, okay, judges start getting super picky with striking versus damage. But the thing is, Merab does damage. Like, he is adding in punches.
He's improved so much with everywhere, bro. His submissions, his ground and pound, his striking on the feet.
Yeah.
I mean, it's insane. The one angle I think Peter Yan could get it done is a knee up the middle. I think that's his shot to do it, bro.
Yeah, and it's just such a tough.
Do you think if Merab stood right in front of Peter Yan like this and said, "Punch me as hard as you can," do you think he would get knocked out?
No, I don't.
That's what I'm saying, bro.
I think he'd get dropped.
Peter Yan's going to knock him out with a punch. I just don't see it.
I agree with you. I think that Yan's path is like a super finicky. You know how O'Malley was kind of arguing in the fringes for some of those rounds, like a super finicky decision like that. And Sandhagen honestly was close-ish to doing that if he didn't get dropped. And then that round was like a 10-8 for Merab, and it spiraled from there. But I will say I feel better about Yan's chin a little bit than I do Sandhagen. And like, the other difference between their rematch is that Yan is now closer to the median championship age of 30 than Merab was. That was flipped the last time they fought because it was, Merab's a little bit further away from your prime age as a champion. So it's like, that's a little bit in Yan's favor. But I think the number's fine. I've got Yan decision +3 62. It's most of his win equity, but it's not screaming out to me to bet it because Merab's a guy I've lost a lot of money betting against, and I really don't feel like doing it again because he's just crazy.
Merab does look older than 34.
I'm
I'm 33, bro. Like Merab looks 42, 45 maybe.
Merab is a hard 34, but like when you watch him fight, he looks 28. So it's like it's a tough his movements and stuff. But
guys, if you're just joining now, you missed the whole show. But this is a live show, but the whole thing is posted on YouTube. By the way, we just hit over 4,000 concurrent viewers, so appreciate everyone for tuning in.
Yep.
What's your final take on this fight, bro? If you gun to your head, you got to find value on one bet. What are you taking?
I'm playing Jan decision tiny.
What's the number?
I've seen as high as 6-1. Let's see what FanDuel's sitting at right now. It is plus 600. Yeah, I don't see him knocking out Merab, so I would play Jan decision.
Corey Sandhagen won that first round last fight, but then he comes out and gets 10-8'd in the second, which has got to be defeating for him mentally.
I gotta say, I think Sandhagen is more dangerous than Piotr Jan is, like in terms of finishing danger.
100%. And
he finished Figgy.
Piotr Jan is a slow starter too.
Yeah,
like, I'm telling you right now, I think he's the worst. I think Merab is the worst stylistic matchup for Piotr Jan, and I think Piotr Jan is the best matchup for Merab. He starts slow.
Yep.
His punches aren't that powerful. He's very skilled. He's a very good striker, very well rounded.
Yeah,
but he's not really a guy you think of that's like he's gonna knock you out with 1-2 or even a one. Like I just think it's such a perfect matchup for Merab. But again, if it's just the activity and he's just not himself, maybe there's a chance Piotr Jan gets it done. But
that's almost what I'm afraid of to bet Merab more than I am confident that's why Jan's going to win, if that makes sense.
Yeah, for sure.
There's not a lot doing for us.
Yeah.
Alrighty, man.
Some shit. By the way, I hate to tell you guys this, but I cannot give out official cycles on Wednesday because I have to bet it first. And we live in a world now where I hate myself when I give out a play and I didn't bet it yet, and the value tanks.
Yeah.
Like I'm talking like a 40-1 becomes 25-1 type of tank. It's ridiculous. So we're not going to give out official cycles on the Wednesday shows. We will build a safe parlay, and then we'll build a long shot parlay, maybe a 2-legger or something.
Yes.
But the official cycles will come out Thursday and Friday. I'm going to do 2 every week. But let's definitely build something here and try to figure out what we like here. What's the safe parlay looking like? Or
I thought we had parlay music, maybe not.
We did. I was just slacking.
I don't think I officially cut to it, so like I think that was partly on me. Okay, so if you guys don't remember, safe parlay, I kind of lead the dance, but I want Matty to agree. I'm not gonna take an angle Matty doesn't like. So we sort of build it together, even though it's sort of my thing. But I think the number that stood out to me, I think it's a good number. It's model approved. It moved while we were talking. Cejudo and Peyton Talbot to go the distance at -210.
Cejudo and Talbot to go the distance?
Yes, to go all 15.
-210?
Yeah.
Dude, that is a good number.
I've got it -236. I think it is a good number.
It's a good parlay piece for sure.
And frankly, we really only need one sort of pick other than that.
To get around even money or so.
I'm taking a look at what Jalen.
First of all, tell the people that don't know what the safe parlay is and what you're shooting for in odds.
So I am shooting for around even money. This is like a weekly show parlay that we are hoping to we want to hit probably, if we're really cooking, it's like 60-65% of these. If we could get about 55%, that's still really good. And then hopefully we break even is the end goal. But we're looking for an even money bet. You're like, I want a parlay for the night. I want it to pay roughly even money.
If you want to double up your money with a couple,
you want to double up. Yeah. If we were like daily fantasy contest, I'm a double up, and Matty's going for the whole grand enchilada.
For the fucking stars, bro.
Yeah. So I don't have Abdul-Malik props at the book I'm looking at right now.
All right, so leg one, fight to go the distance. I see -220, but let's call it -210.
Yep, I'll build with this.
One more leg here. I'm surprised you're not on Macy Barber here, but hopefully I talked you out of it.
You don't like it, so I'm not going to take it.
Respect.
And I also already have a lot. What do you think about Turner inside the distance? Even though we could just shorten it to round 1-2 is minus 135. So you put those together, that is plus 156 for that 2-legger.
Yeah.
I know Turner is not particularly safe, but I'm looking at some of these other angles here, and it's like,
Yeah.
oh. What about McKinney? Duncan doesn't go the distance. What'd you say?
Oh, yeah. Bro, that's the angle.
Well, so, okay, you ready for this? It is minus 1450 to not go the distance. It's a huge number.
What's fight not to start round 3, though?
That's what I was looking at. It's minus...
Probably minus 1,000.
Minus 700.
That's not bad. That's not bad. That fight ain't gone. That's bro.
Okay, yeah, I have that fight minus 716 to not go the distance. So like I'm like in this territory.
Minus 700 to not go 10 minutes is value then.
I think so. McKinney is just, Duncan's dangerous and McKinney's gas is just not there.
The fight to reach round 3 minus 700 is no. Cejudo fight to go the distance. I'm seeing minus 150 on that parlay.
Yeah, we typically try to keep it a little bit shorter or longer than that for the folks. So
yep.
I'm trying to look here. Is there another total?
You could go under 1.5 though, right?
I could. Let me look at under 1.5.
Under 1.5 is minus 425, and then you got minus 126 on the parlay. That's close. You could probably get a little cheaper too, because McKinney.
Let's see. Do we? I only have this book I'm looking at has only a half a round line.
That's...
I honestly, dude, it kind of. I like McKinney round 1 there, but fight to not start round 2 minus 215. Duncan said he was aiming for the second round though, so that's a little scary.
I think you go minus. I think you can get this parlay in around minus 120. I think you do it.
Do you object to Turner 1-2?
I don't object.
I just think you know how I think anecdotally my model's not quite there, but I think Turner submits him. I think he hurts him and then he jumps on a choke.
Yeah, I see that for sure.
And I'm probably not gonna round 1.
Yeah. But I mean, you can just take Turner by finish, bro.
Yeah, I could.
You don't need to get that cute with it because you already have a minus 220 in there.
Dude, okay. So Cejudo, it's nice even. Cejudo Talbot goes the distance. Turner inside the distance. It's plus 125. You throw $10 on that pays $12.50. Pays out $22.50. Win $12.50.
Wait, repeat that.
Okay, so it's Cejudo Talbot goes the distance minus 210. Turner inside the distance minus 190. You slap those together, it's plus 125. In and out like that. What do we think, chat?
Type it
in. Turner inside the.
Can you type it on there?
Yep, I'm coming. Tell. Fight goes the distance, and then I think that's the winner. I'll lay that right now as soon as we. Oh, I gotta change my YouTube handle, but I will. Can we throw it up there, Matty?
Yeah.
All right, safe parlay, locked in, done. That's cash. Thank you, Miker 3349. Talbot Cejudo, surgical, dude, and I feel good about it. I like Jalen Turner. I think that's a bounce back spot for him. Even if my model's just a tiny bit behind that, but I don't care. I'm making the executive decision there. All right, buddy. What do we think for a long shot? We had some fun ones that we threw out there.
Yeah,
and I like this as like a side long shot, and then you can still lab your cycle as you because you gotta watch the odds there at Hard Rock because they can change pretty dramatically on you. So, let's see. A long shot parlay that you and I both kind of like.
All right. I just deposited $500. I'm gonna bet this shit in real time.
The safe parlay?
No.
Okay.
We're about to cook.
I was gonna say, you're not allowed to actually bet the safe parlay. I thought that was clear.
No, I don't do safe parlays, bro. That's for the people that watch the show, and that's for you. Opposite. This is why we complement each other well.
Yes, it's a dynamic duo. So,
all right. So I gotta plug this real quick. Give me 1 second. I want to show.
We were kind of split, which is kind of shitty for our first show back. We had a lot of disagreements, but
all right, 1 second, boys. Let's see here. All right, I just deposited 500. This site is sick, by the way, bro. It's a sweepstakes site. It's like legal in like 40 states.
interesting.
It has every UFC prop on it. I think they have like the same odds as DraftKings and FanDuel, pretty much. Here, I'm gonna plug it in the YouTube chat right now if I can find it. But yeah, I want to do a 2-leg long shot. Okay, so this isn't gonna be a single, but I want to do a two-leg long shot here.
You mentioned a model approved one earlier, so I just wanted to, I wanted to see if you wanted to do it, which was the Ferreira Guskov decision leg. But if you're going to use one for a cycle, that's a little different, right?
Yeah. All right, I'm putting this in here. All right, I just plugged the site, boys. If you guys want to get on that, it's in the description right here. So if you deposit $10 on this site, you get $100 to play with. It's Onyx, onyxodds.com, code Matty. They'll give you $100 to play with. All you have to do is deposit $10, you get $100. And it has every outcome you need in UFC. I'm gonna tell you, so let's look on here. I believe so I have to take one decision leg here. I'm gonna go a decision, and then I'm gonna go a finish prop. I believe the value everyone was talking about was on. What was the first decision I gave you today?
It was Ferreira, wasn't it?
Yes. All right, where is he? All right, check this out, bro. Bro, on this site right now. Oh, it went down to 450. Oh no, 450. Yeah.
Yeah, it was 450. Guskov was the one
on Hard Rock, bro. So that Bruno Ferreira decision prop is plus 450 on Onyx right now. It's a better number than everywhere else, or roughly the same or better. So we're going Bruno Ferreira plus decision. If you guys are going to tail this, go make an account now, because I promise you they're going to tank this number. They did it last week. The numbers got tanked so quickly. And then I'm going to go. Oh, I can't. Now, this doesn't have fight to end by sub prop. It does have fighters by sub, but you can't take the fight to end by sub. I was going to take
the McKinney Duncan fight.
Yeah, it's not long enough anyways.
I was going to say, why don't you come to the dark side and just play McKinney, bro?
Hold on. You know what I'm about to do, bro?
Yeah.
What's Jalen Turner's sub?
Oh, okay.
Oh, no, the price isn't good enough. It's plus 350 on here.
Why don't you come to is McKinney sub like 4-1 or greater? Come to the dark side.
Bro, I lean Duncan sub over McKinney sub. So, but I'm going to just take fight to sub. All right, here's what we're doing, bro.
Yeah, we can't put in the comments. We can't put Marab decision in a long shot parlay. It's minus 220 or something.
All right, no, fucking, I'm doing this shit, bro. Hold on.
The most stunning thing you said tonight was the Macy Barber Silva result, because I was going to spoon feed you Barber knockout. I think showing a little bit of value at 5-1. Oh no, it's not.
Yeah,
I thought it was better.
Oh, I'm struggling with this second leg.
You want to look at rounds, maybe?
Yeah, but I can't take multiple. Like, I would do like a 2-3, but I can't on this site. I'm trying to figure out. All right, here's what we're doing. All right, we got it, boys.
What you got?
It is a plus 1220 parlay. This is on Onyx, code Matty if you guys want to tail. 500 right now to win 6,600. I'm taking Tatsuro Tyra by decision.
Okay.
Parlayed with Bruno Ferreira by decision.
Okay. I'm down.
I love this play. Tyra decision plus 140. Ferreira decision plus 450. 500 pays 6,600.
You know what's a super fun long shot decision that I wish you were on board with? Josh Pham.
Yeah, I can't get there, bro.
Yeah, I know. I know Santos is your guy. But
There's
well,
the
hopefully,
decision, boys. There's the decision play of the week. I think those have to be my cycle legs too, bro. The decision legs.
I'm gonna if you like Tyra decision.
The Guskov one is risky, but it's a nice long shot decision leg. I can't put a 7-1 decision in my cycle, bro.
Yeah.
I have put 7-1 subs in my cycle though. Like remember the Bruno Ferreira sub?
Yeah.
6-1 or 7-1 and that hit on the cycle. Yeah, Onyx is only in the US, guys. It's in over 40 US states. So sorry. If you're offshore or if you're in a different country, I'm sorry. I don't have a lot of options for you guys.
You're the father of the cycle. I think a decent cycle format, if you want to go with that dicey Guskov decision, put it with Abdul-Malik KO and then your McKinney Duncan sub.
Wait, say that again?
So if you like that dicey Guskov decision, go conservative, put it with Abdul-Malik KO when it comes out and the sub fight ends by sub between McKinney and Duncan.
Yeah, for sure.
That's a good cycle for it. And that's typically how we build it.
I don't know if the Abdul one.
It's legendary if you build it this way, but
could Abdul sub him?
Abdul, I mean, I guess if Trocoli shoots, but like Abdul-Malik hasn't attempted a submission yet. He was on the ground for most of his Contender Series fight against Wes Schultz.
Yeah. Let's see if this number moved at all.
My favorite number is going to be Abdul-Malik round 1. I'm not going to get cute with KO or submission, but maybe that's a better fit for like a round prop. You go Abdul-Malik in round 1 and then someone else in round 2 and then someone else in round 3. Maybe Dawson in round 3. I know you like that angle. Yeah.
I like round 2 or 3, but he's fine.
I'm trying to think of a 2.
Yeah, the Bruno Ferreira decision is still plus 450 right now, boys, if you guys want that. Onyx is allowed in Colorado. I'm not sure. Just Google or chat GPT it. But it's in like 40 states.
I'm from Colorado. You got real books, bro. Just play on real sports. I'm so jealous. I'm in Texas. You got real books.
You can only get the free deposit bonus once, though.
That's true.
So I've literally used 30 or 50 books in my life, bro. I take advantage of all that shit.
And that's a good idea. That's a good word to leave us up on. So we've got Matty's long shot. That'll be my Ferreira decision exposure, and then I'm going to play Marvin inside the distance because that's why I said I like both of those. So I love that. We got the safe parlay, which is Cejudo fight to go the distance as well as Turner inside the distance. Thank you guys so much for joining us. This was such an awesome night. We're a little over 2 hours, but we've been known to yap on these big long cards like this. And this was a loaded card. I assume other shows won't be this long, but it's been so great to be back. You can expect Matty and I back here Wednesdays, same time and place. We want to get this out and get you guys the information of the people. I'm here to stay, and kind of what made this show and this community so special is here to stay. So thank you all for joining us. This will be all available live on YouTube. Matty, for Home of Fight, I get to rep Matty's colors. I will have a betting primer out on Friday. So I will fight by fight, full model results so you can see the percentages yourself. All of my thoughts, all of my notes, all of my trends, all of that stuff will be dumped onto homeoffight.com on Friday. Matty, what can the people be looking out for you?
Yeah, I should have one cycle parlay out tomorrow night. I'll have the second one out Friday. I haven't been doing full betting cards, guys. People don't want to tail a full betting card. They just want fucking long shots for me. So that's just who I am at this point. So I'll give out like 8 to 12 parlays per UFC card.
Yeah.
All I gotta do is hit one parlay and I'm up. And I've been doing that pretty well recently. So hopefully it doesn't go south. But the cycles, don't just tail the cycles, guys. Last week I had 2 cycles. Both cycles went 2-1, and it was what the Kyoji fight, bro. Kyoji wins every minute of that fight.
Yeah.
Finishes him with the last 2 minutes. That was my decision leg. So I was 2 minutes away from – that was a $100K win. So I went 2-1 on the one cycle, 2-1 on the other, but then we hit a lot of crazy long shots. So just join the Telegram. It's free. It's in the Instagram and Twitter bio. And I'll put out lots of long shots this weekend.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll look forward to it. Let's crush UFC 323, guys. We'll be back for the Apex card, the final card of 2025 next week. But until then, we'll look forward to seeing you. Have a great UFC 323 on Saturday, and take it easy. Hope you win your bets.
And check out the merch. Home of Fight just dropped, guys. We got a Saudi Amato.
You gotta get my sizes, man. I got broad shoulders.
We gotta have the photos of the merch in here for next time. But guys, we got some crazy good merch on the Home of Fight website, so go check that out.
I need 3X sizes, dude. I got big shoulders. Like, I got to be able to fit in it. You got to give me a 3X shirt, and then I'll rep some.
Okay, I don't know what sizes we have, so Jake, just let them know.
Yeah, they will, and I'll have merch soon, and that'll be fun. All righty, guys, take it easy. Thanks for joining us.